Welcome back to Infinite Novel Audiobooks. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share Chapter 1, Mandatory Driving. I'm licensed to drive. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully transmigrating into a comprehensive urban world. Ding! Emotion value lottery system successfully bound. Make the male and female protagonists in the book generate emotions to get emotion points and draw rewards. Ding! The current plot you are in is the female CEO's divine personal bodyguard. Oh my god, I transmigrated too. Chen Zhuo rubbed his temples, confirming it wasn't an illusion. Just now, he was still watching a Dragon King short drama on his phone. Although the plot was idiotic, and all the villains were brainless, it was genuinely satisfying. I'm a country bumpkin, and I love watching it. The protagonist was just about to curl his lips when suddenly his vision went black, and he transmigrated. Coming back to his senses, Chen Zhuo looked around at his surroundings. This was the study of a villa, with soft lighting filling the entire room, a wool carpet covering the marble floor, and some expensive-looking ornaments on the Huanghuali bookshelf next to him. And in the mirror, he saw himself, dressed in an exquisite suit with a face in his 40s. Mature, stable, with a faint aura of a superior. Holy crap, with these family conditions, I'm about to take off. Chen Zhuo couldn't suppress the joy in his heart. He didn't expect that, with this transmigration, he would directly reach the pinnacle of his life. He eagerly skimmed through the plot provided by the system. He was dumbfounded before he even finished reading it. The female CEO's divine personal bodyguard. The title alone suggested an emotionally explosive, yet very idiotic urban web novel. The villains in it were more brainless than the last, one after another rushing to give the protagonist kills, experience, and women. And the biggest, most idiotic villain in this plot was himself, Shengteng Group Chairman, Chen Zhuo. If nothing unexpected happened, he was about to have an accident. That son of destiny, named Yifan, was about to kill him. What was the point of playing this game then? Was this just a rich man experience card? Knock, knock, knock. Just then, rhythmic knocking sounded. Chen Zhuo was startled. After calming himself, he sat back down in the ergonomic chair behind the desk. What is it? Chairman Chen, the Civil Affairs Bureau and Miss Gu have arrived. The butler's voice came from outside the door. Chen Zhuo was a bit confused and quickly opened the system to quickly review the beginning of the plot. It turned out that Miss Gu outside the door was Gu Shihan, the eldest daughter of the Gu family of Zhangjiang, and also the beautiful CEO of Kia Ling Cosmetics Company, under the Gu family. Of course, she also had a most important identity. The female lead in this book, and that son of destiny, Yi Fan, would be her personal bodyguard in the future. And the villain, Chen Zhuo, was a suitor of Gu Shihan, one might even say a simp. In the public eye, Chen Zhuo was a respected entrepreneur, dedicated to charity, so he couldn't use underworld methods to force her. He could only use some business tactics to push Gu Shihan's company to the brink, eventually forcing Gu Shihan to agree to register their marriage with Chen Zhuo. The conditions were no wedding, and the matter could not be publicly announced. Also, matters between husband and wife had to have Gu Shihan's consent. Today was the day they were to register their marriage. As for the Civil Affairs Bureau offering home service, well, with money, finding a reason like caring for the people was enough. Come in. The study door opened, and the butler walked in, respectfully saying, Boss, the Civil Affairs Bureau's items are ready. You and Miss Gu just need to take a photo and stamp it. Chen Zhuo nodded, stood up and walked out. As soon as he stepped out, the female lead, Gu Shihan, appeared in his sight. Today, she was wearing a beige professional skirt suit, custom-fitted, perfectly outlining the curves of her figure. Her long legs, encased in sheer stockings, were particularly eye-catching. Especially her exquisite face, with a noble and elegant temperament, yet also a hint of youthful vitality and cuteness. She was definitely a killer for middle-aged men. It was no wonder that the big villain, with such status in the original plot, would still become her simp. When Gu Shihan saw Chen Zhuo come out, her expression instantly turned cold. Chen Zhuo's suppression of her company and his threats over these past few days only made her feel disgusted. If she hadn't been unwilling to give up the company she had built with her hard work, she would never have appeared in this place today. "Your outfit today is nice. I like it very much." Chen Zhuo walked up to her and praised her indifferently. HMPH, Gu Shihan just snorted coldly, not replying. Chen Zhuo didn't care either. Forcing someone to marry, it was normal for them to be unhappy. Ding detected that the female lead Gu Shihan felt disgust, rewarding 198 emotion points. Just then, the system voice in his mind rang again. Only then did Chen Zhuo remember the system he had just activated, so he could get emotion points this way. Wasn't that simple? "Hello, Mr. Chen Zhuo. We are staff from the Civil Affairs Bureau. Please, you and Miss Gu, sit here for a photo." A woman in uniform stepped forward, pointing to the set-up photography area beside them. Chen Zhuo nodded. He sat down in the chair. Gu Shihan, however, didn't move. You don't want your company either." Chen Zhuo frowned, his tone a bit displeased. He was a big villain who was about to kick the bucket anyway, so he definitely had to enjoy the villain's life before being killed. He wanted to do whatever he wanted. Ding detected that the female lead Gu Shihan felt helpless, rewarding 156 emotion points. HMPH. Gu Shihan snorted coldly again. But she still sat down in the chair next to Chen Zhuo. "Good, move a little closer, come on, smile." Click, the wedding photo was taken. In the photo, Chen Zhuo smiled brightly, while Gu Shihan's smile looked awkward no matter how you looked at it. Finally, under Chen Zhuo's guidance, the staff photoshopped a bright smile onto Gu Shihan. "Yes, that's how a marriage should look." Chen Zhuo nodded in satisfaction. Ding detected that the female lead Gu Shihan felt utterly speechless, rewarding 100 emotion points. Soon, the marriage certificate was stamped and processed. "Congratulations to the two of you on your happy union. Here is your marriage certificate." "Thank you." Taking the red booklet, Chen Zhuo said to the butler, "Arrange something for them. Everyone worked hard to come here." After receiving thick red envelopes, the 5 staff members beamed with joy. "Don't worry, we will absolutely not disclose what happened today." After seeing off the 5 staff members, the butler also tactfully didn't return, going to the adjacent butler's room, leaving only Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan inside the villa. "All right, are you satisfied? I need to go back to work," Gu Shihan said coldly. According to the original plot, the villain thought he could completely conquer Gu Shihan from within. It was only a matter of time. So he let Gu Shihan go back to work as agreed. Later, the son of destiny, Yi Fan became Gu Shihan's personal bodyguard. And later, he was humiliated and killed before he even got to kiss her. Unfortunately, Chen Zhuo was not the same brainless villain as before. How could he let a duck that was delivered to his mouth run away? He slowly walked up to Gu Shihan and grabbed her wrist. "Satisfied? We've already registered our marriage, yet you still speak so formally." Looking at the somewhat unfamiliar Chen Zhuo before her, a layer of terror instantly welled up in Gu Shihan's eyes. What are you going to do?" Chen Zhuo didn't answer. His other hand had already wrapped around Gu Shihan's slender waist. "What do you think a husband and wife should do?" Chapter 2, What Big Villain? Please call me the domineering president. Gu Shihan's body stiffened. Fear filled her heart. At this point, even a fool would know what Chen Zhuo was about to do. No, didn't you promise me you wouldn't touch me without my consent?" Fear mixed with a hint of unwillingness in Gu Shihan's voice. Chen Zhuo laughed heartily. "Woman, you've been a CEO for so long. Don't you know those words have no legal effect? Besides, that was what the previous Chen Zhuo promised, What does it have to do with the current Chen Zhuo? As Chen Zhuo spoke, he forcefully threw Gu Shihan onto the large sofa nearby. You. Gu Shihan was incoherent. Her pretty face flushed crimson. Whether from anger or shyness, it was hard to tell. However, that no longer mattered to Chen Zhuo. 3 hours passed. From the sofa to the bathroom, from the bathroom to the bedroom. The afterglow of the setting sun streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, filling the entire room. Gu Shihan, exhausted, simply fell into a deep sleep. Hatred, unwillingness, shyness, shame, and other complex emotions seemed insignificant in the face of physical exhaustion. She just wanted to sleep. Although Chen Zhuo was also very tired, Gu Shihan's complex emotions had completely maxed out his system. He was currently tallying his spoils. After this battle, he had actually gained 10,840 emotional points from Gu Shihan. According to the system rules, 1,000 emotional points allowed for 1 lottery draw. Gu Shihan truly was his precious wife. He opened the lottery interface and immediately went for a 10 draw. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have drawn 1 free attribute point. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have drawn God-level massage skills. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have drawn villain aura boost. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have drawn 1 free attribute point. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have drawn intermediate cooking skills. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have drawn advanced skin essence formula. After 10 system prompts, Chen Zhuo gained 3 free attribute points. They could be used to enhance any attribute, including stamina, endurance, mental power, and so on. Chen Zhuo allocated all 3 free attribute points to stamina. With his 40-something-year-old body, how could he open new battlefields if he didn't improve his stamina? Aside from the free attribute points, the most useful of the other rewards was the villain aura boost. According to the system, this item would make strangers feel that he exuded an impressive aura the moment they saw him. Furthermore, different people would form different positive first impressions, such as admiration, envy, or even attraction. According to the system, if I go out, won't I gain a lot of fangirls? Chen Zhuo stroked his chin, lost in thought. The next day, around 9 in the morning, Gu Shihan woke up from her sleep. Perhaps it was because the events of yesterday had such a huge psychological impact on her, but she actually dreamed that she was pregnant with Chen Zhuo's child. Bah, what kind of dream is this? This scoundrel, I must make him pay. Gu Shihan's mind became clearer and clearer. The shyness in her mind instantly turned into anger, a burning rage. She swore that she would never be done with Chen Zhuo in this lifetime. One day, she would make Chen Zhuo wish he were dead. What she didn't expect was that many years later, her first statement came true, leaving endless traces of their interactions in many places. As for the latter statement, full of vigor would be a more fitting description. In her immense anger, she tried to stand up and rush out the door. However, she quickly realized that she couldn't move at all. Her entire body was sore and weak. Using all her strength to try and bend over to stand up was met with a bone-piercing ache. She couldn't move, absolutely couldn't move. Outside the door, Chen Zhuo was lying on a massage chair, browsing short videos. After adding the 3 free attribute points to strength yesterday, he woke up this morning feeling no fatigue or soreness from the strenuous activity. Instead, he felt full of energy. "Mr. Chen, your breakfast." Just then, the housekeeper brought out 2 servings of breakfast from the kitchen. Simple steamed buns and soy milk. Chen Zhuo nodded. Got it. Although the steamed buns looked ordinary, the taste was top-notch, as Chen Zhuo had hired master chefs from all over the country to prepare them. Chen Zhuo was also hungry. He quickly finished his portion in a few bites. A sip of soy milk, refreshing. After a satisfied burp, he picked up the other portion. This one was for Gu Shihan. Of course, he wasn't going to be a sycophant, but he had re-examined the system rules this morning. He discovered that the system had another rule. The emotional points awarded for the same emotion generated by the same person would decrease with each occurrence. Eventually, it would become 0. In other words, he couldn't just keep milking Gu Shihan for one type of emotion. He had to give her different experiences. He pushed open the door. Gu Shihan lay weakly on the bed, only able to exert all her strength to glare angrily. Chen Zhuo walked over and placed the breakfast tray on the nearby table. Before he could speak, he heard Gu Shihan, tears in her eyes, exclaim, "Chen Zhuo, you bastard!" Ding! Detected Gu Shihan's intense anger, rewarded 124 emotional points. "Thank you for the compliment. Have breakfast." Chen Zhuo smiled slightly, his smile like that of a pervert. Gu Shihan felt like she had punched cotton. She snorted and turned her head away. "Oh, you mean you're not going to eat?" Chen Zhuo's cold tone made Gu Shihan involuntarily shiver. "Pervert, this man is a pervert." No, I can't move." Gu Shihan was so wronged she was almost in tears. Ding! Detected Gu Shihan's extreme grievance, rewarded 201 emotional points. "Can't move." Chen Zhuo was stunned, not understanding. "You yesterday." "Oh, Tilda." Chen Zhuo suddenly understood. "Why didn't you tell me earlier yesterday?" Yesterday, she had screamed, no until her throat was hoarse. Gu Shihan was the eldest daughter of the Gu family. Although her parents had an accident when she was young, she had never experienced such profound grievance. Later, when she became the company's CEO, everyone at the company acted according to her whims. Now, facing Chen Zhuo, she felt as if she had endured all the grievances of her life. Chen Zhuo hadn't expected the legendary cold female CEO to actually cry. Ding! Detected Gu Shihan's complete emotional breakdown, triggering a special emotional reward, an upgraded lottery draw. Hearing the system's voice, Chen Zhuo's gaze towards Gu Shihan changed. This female lead truly was his precious female laid. In consideration of the special reward, he sat directly on the bed and placed the breakfast tray on the nightstand. "If your body is tired, don't cry anymore. I'll feed you breakfast." Saying that, he picked up a steamed bun and brought it to Gu Shihan's mouth. Gu Shihan really wanted to bravely refuse, but the excessive physical exertion from yesterday had left her stomach completely empty. The intense hunger and the strong aroma of the bun near her nose made her unable to resist taking a bite. After being utterly exhausted, even a simple bun would be delicious, let alone these carefully prepared steamed buns. Gu Shihan couldn't stop eating after one bite. She could only eat while comforting herself with the thought that as long as the Green Mountains remain, there will be no shortage of firewood. Soon, a plate of steamed buns was all eaten by her, and a cup of soy milk was also finished in 2 gulps. Chen Zhuo watched from the side, dumbfounded. "I say, you're not a pig, are you?" "You're the pig. Your whole family are pigs." Gu Shihan's face was red, completely devoid of any trace of a cold female CEO. This completely different demeanor from yesterday left Chen Zhuo somewhat puzzled. According to her character in the original plot, Gu Shihan shouldn't be like this, should she? Could it be that he had triggered her hidden attributes? Or was all this an act, her intention to endure and seek revenge? Chen Zhuo shook his head, pushing the question to the back of his mind. Who cares, as long as she can provide emotional points? Who wouldn't like a wife who can provide emotional points? Just then, Gu Shihan's phone rang in her bag. Chen Zhuo picked it up and answered. "Understood, I'll tell her." After hanging up, Chen Zhuo told Gu Shihan, "Your assistant called, asking you to go to the board meeting." Gu Shihan actually sat right up. Then, she couldn't maintain it for 3 seconds and lay back down. After taking a couple of breaths, she anxiously said, "Take me there, I need to go to the meeting." "Go to a meeting? Can you attend a meeting in this state?" "Then what should I do? I'm not like you, who can do whatever he wants. If I make one wrong move, I'm finished at the company." Gu Shihan was very wronged. After the company was targeted by Chen Zhuo, competitors also seized the opportunity to launch fierce attacks in the public opinion sphere. It was already on the brink of collapse. After saying this, her eyes blinked and darted around. Suddenly, she remembered something. That's right, I still have you. We're married now, so my business is your business. Find someone to help me resolve the company's issues. Gu Shihan had also figured it out. Since what had happened couldn't be changed, she might as well use this identity to gain more benefits for herself. Otherwise, wouldn't all the suffering she endured be in vain? Chapter 3, Do you like it? I'll give it to you more times in the future. Ah, tilde, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Be gentler. I'm already being very gentle. Bear with it, it'll be over soon. No, I can't, it's all swollen there. It's precisely because it's swollen that I need to massage it. Who told you to resist so fiercely yesterday? Your calf got swollen from the impact, and blood stasis accumulated here. If I don't massage it open, you won't be able to get out of bed for a week. Ding. Detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, is in unbearable pain, rewarding 108 emotion points. Chen Zhuo said, pouring safflower oil onto Gu Shihan's fair and tender calf. Don't worry, with this massage, you'll be able to go to the company for your meeting shortly. Using God-level massage to help Gu Shihan recover, and then letting her go back to the meeting herself. This was Chen Zhuo's solution. Of course, if he really wanted to use his influence, it would just be a matter of a phone call. It was just that Chen Zhuo didn't want to resolve things so quickly. The more things happened between him and Gu Shihan, the more emotion points he could gain. Really, is your massage technique that amazing? Gu Shihan asked curiously. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. She had already figured it out now. A wise man doesn't fight when the odds are against him. Chen Zhuo was a capricious pervert who did whatever he wanted. Before she had the strength, it was better to behave obediently. Moreover, she was genuinely curious. How could Chen Zhuo, a big shot who dominated both the underworld and the legitimate world, also know how to massage? Before she could think further, a piercing, sore pain came from the spot Chen Zhuo was rubbing. Pain, 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 slow down. Gu Shihan's tears were almost gushing out. You sit in a chair and work every day without activity, leading to your body being too weak, which is why you feel so much pain. I'll give you more treatments in the future, and you'll feel more and more comfortable. Chen Zhuo's fingers danced on Gu Shihan's skin, from her shoulders and neck to her lower abdomen and then to her calves. With God-level massage and stamina bonuses, he wasn't tired at all. In fact, he felt very relaxed. After the first few intense bouts of soreness, Gu Shihan felt much better later on. A feeling of lightness spread through her body from Chen Zhuo's palms. That feeling was more comfortable than any traditional Chinese medicine massage therapist she had ever hired. 15 minutes later, Chen Zhuo let out a long breath. All right. Gu Shihan's face had turned into one of enjoyment, and she reluctantly opened her eyes. Is it done? Only then did she realize that the spot she was lying on was completely soaked with sweat, and her skin was also covered in a layer of sweat. It was very uncomfortable. She hadn't even noticed it during the massage. She tried to move her right leg. Although there was still some soreness, it was like the soreness after hiking, not like before when she couldn't move at all. Is this massage really that amazing? Her eyes were full of shock. Comfortable and miraculous. If this were really a massage parlor, she would definitely get a membership and come every day after work. Ding. Detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, is reluctant to leave, rewarding 118 emotion points. This is the first session. You should leave work early tonight, and I'll give you another consolidation session. Chen Zhuo said with a serious expression. Huh. Gu Shihan's expression changed. She wasn't a simple, naive girl. She had planned to run away and not come back, at least not until Chen Zhuo made another move. She would absolutely not return. Now Chen Zhuo was telling her to come back for a massage after work. She subconsciously wanted to refuse. However, the soreness in her body and the comfort of the massage made her hesitate. People always believe what they want to believe. Perhaps Chen Zhuo's true intention really was just the massage. Was she overthinking it? Besides, Chen Zhuo was over 40 years old. Even if his body was strong, could he really indulge in nightly revelry? What's with that expression? We're married. This is your home now. I'll have them give you access later. All right, don't you still have a company meeting? Go take a shower and change your clothes quickly. I'll take you there later. Gu Shihan, thinking of the company matters, quickly got out of bed and rushed to the bathroom to shower. Chen Zhuo, on the other hand, began to count his spoils. First, there was the special reward triggered. One upgraded lottery draw. He directly clicked on the lottery draw. The regular lottery had quite a few treasures. Wouldn't the upgraded version be even better? As a golden lottery animation flashed in his mind, the system's notification sound rang out again. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the hidden level reward, Earth rank level 3 cultivation. Cultivation is being transmitted. Please wait patiently, host. Chen Zhuo only felt a surge of heat emanating from every pore in his body, as if he were soaking in a hot spring. 3 minutes later, this heat slowly dissipated, and all the fatigue in his body was swept away. Ding! Cultivation transmission successful. Your current cultivation level is Earth rank level 3. Chen Zhuo brought up his personal information panel. Name, Chen Zhuo. Status, Shengteng Group Chairman. Social reputation, 94, maximum value is 100. Stamina, 89, no maximum value, average for ordinary people is 70. Mental strength, 79, no maximum value, average for ordinary people is 62. Endurance, 66, no maximum value, average for ordinary people is 57. Skills, God-level massage, intermediate cooking. Items, advanced skin essence formula. Cultivation level, Earth rank level 3. Emotion points, 1391. Chen Zhuo's eyes lit up as he looked at his cultivation level. According to the plot setting, the cultivation levels in the female CEO's God-level personal bodyguard were divided into 3 major tiers. They were human rank, Earth rank, and heaven rank. And each major tier was further divided into 5 minor levels. Level 1 was entry level, and level 5 was the peak. The son of Destiny in this book had a cultivation level of Earth rank level 3 when he descended the mountain. This meant that if they fought purely with cultivation, the son of Destiny couldn't instantly kill him. It seems this rich man's experience card is about to be upgraded. His gaze turned to the bathroom, where Gu Shihan's figure was outlined on the glass door. Chen Zhuo stroked his chin. This woman truly is my lucky star. Since that's the case, I'll just conveniently solve your company's problems for you. At the same time, in the Lingfeng mountain range, the son of Destiny, Yi Fan, was kneeling before the mountain gate. Master, do you really want this disciple to descend the mountain? A white-bearded old man waved his hand. Yi Fan, your cultivation level has reached a bottleneck. Without the tempering of the mortal world, you will never break through. I hope you descend the mountain, gain good experience, and learn more new things. Additionally, I have another task for you. Saying this, the old man took a photograph from his embrace. The woman in the photo was none other than Gu Shihan. After you descend the mountain, go find her. She is a member of the Gu family of Zhangjiang. And you must make her conceive your child and give birth to it. No matter what method you use, I hope that when you return to the mountain next time, I will see this child. Yi Fan took the photo from his master's hand. He was instantly captivated by the woman in the photo, her exquisite figure, delicate features, and alluring demeanor. A woman like this must be his. This disciple understands. This disciple will definitely not fail master's trust. The white-bearded old man nodded. Also, your cultivation level is among the upper echelons of those people down the mountain. Don't be too cautious in your actions. But there are also a group of old monsters like me. When you see them, be polite and don't make them angry. If all else fails, mention my name, and they will give some face. Yi Fan descended the mountain with a tattered cloth bag on his back. The white-bearded old man watched his receding figure, pondering. This girl from the Gu family, named Gu Shihan, was a rare vessel of destiny. While others didn't know, for her to bear a son of destiny for Yi Fan, then why would the sect not prosper? The entire martial arts world would have to rely on his name. Chapter 4, I discovered the villain, secret. Meanwhile, at the Chen family villa, Chen Zhuo sighed. The improvement in his cultivation caused a lot of black impurities to seep out of Chen Zhuo's body through his pores. It was very uncomfortable sticking to his skin. He found a set of clothes in the wardrobe and walked to the bathroom door, preparing to go in and have Gu Shihan help him scrub thoroughly. Just as his hand reached for the bathroom doorknob, Gu Shihan's shy and awkward voice came from inside. Chen Zhuo, I didn't bring any clothes. Can you help me find a set? Her voice grew softer and softer, like a young girl, completely devoid of the cold female CEO demeanor. If Chen Zhuo hadn't been standing right outside the door, he wouldn't have heard her. What did you call me? That doesn't sound like the attitude of someone asking for help. Chen Zhuo cleared his throat, intrigued. You, Gu Shihan inwardly cursed at him as shameless. However, she didn't dare to say it out loud. Yesterday, even with her clothes on, she felt half dead. Now she was completely naked. If she really angered Chen Zhuo, she might be ruined on the spot. After a few seconds of hesitation, she still relented. Husband, can you get me a set of clothes? Ding! Detected that female lead Gu Shihan is extremely ashamed, rewarding 180 emotion points. Listening to Gu Shihan's soft, weak, and somewhat shy voice from inside the bathroom, Chen Zhuo felt that being a villain was not so bad. Not only did he get system rewards, but he also had a top-tier life experience. This feeling couldn't be bought with money. Of course, but there are no clothes for you in the villa. I'll get you a bathrobe. Chen Zhuo returned to the bedroom and retrieved another bathrobe. Then he directly pushed open the bathroom door. Ugh. Why are you screaming so loudly? Here, your bathrobe. You, what are you doing in here? I'm all sticky and uncomfortable. I'm taking a shower. If you're in a hurry, I'll just shower with you. Chen Zhuo said with a serious expression. So serious that Gu Shihan even thought her own perspective wasn't broad enough. What, you're unwilling? Chen Zhuo paused with the bathrobe in his hand, staring sternly at Gu Shihan. No, it's just that with our relationship, I feel a bit awkward. What relationship? We are husband and wife now. Chen Zhuo didn't give Gu Shihan time to hesitate and directly threw the bath loofah to her. Come help me scrub. Ding! Detected that female lead Gu Shihan is extremely awkward, rewarding 170 emotion points. Ding! Detected that female lead Gu Shihan is very helpless, rewarding 80 emotion points. Ding! Detected that female lead Gu Shihan is restless, rewarding 161 emotion points. Ding! Detected that female lead Gu Shihan is overwhelmed with shame, rewarding 100 emotion points. After one shower, he directly gained 871 emotion points. Chen Zhuo increasingly felt that Gu Shihan was his lucky star. Furthermore, he also thought of a problem. One female lead could give him so many rewards. What if he found several more female leads? One must know that a book like The Female CEO's Divine Personal Bodyguard could not have only one female lead. Pure love warrior. That was a dream. The larger the harem, the more readers there would be. Yi Fan, the son of fortune, naturally wouldn't have only Gu Shihan as his woman. He had to get ahead, start on all of them before Yi fan came down from the mountain. Back in the bedroom, Gu Shihan was already blow-drying her hair. Once her hair was dry, Chen Zhuo also saw her true, natural, bare-faced appearance. As a top beauty, Gu Shihan's bare face was also very striking, with delicate features and smooth skin. She simply lacked some of the female CEO's heroic spirit and had more of a high school girl's youthful charm. "Thank you, that was a very comfortable wash." Chen Zhuo praised her from the bottom of his heart. Gu Shihan's bathing service was indeed quite good. Gu Shihan's small face flushed, and the hairdryer oscillating in her hand stopped. She didn't expect Chen Zhuo's first words upon entering to be, "Thank you." This wasn't right. Being in high society, she had heard a few rumors. Chen Zhuo was ostensibly a business tycoon, but in reality, he was someone who had influence in both the legitimate and illegitimate worlds. Including all the things Chen Zhuo had done to her before, none of it could be associated with gentleness and refinement. Yet such a big shot. Today not only massaged her, but also thanked her for helping him scrub. Could it be that, after sleeping last night, he had become a different person? Or, as she had read in novels, the Chen Zhuo of yesterday and today were not the same person, but twins. Gu Shihan's imagination ran wild, guessing all sorts of absurd possibilities, until the hot air from the hairdryer in her hand stung her scalp. Ouch! It was this sudden pain that made her think of the most likely possibility. Chen Zhuo had a psychological disorder. The biggest change in their relationship between yesterday and today was her attitude towards Chen Zhuo. Before yesterday, her attitude towards Chen Zhuo had always been cold, and yesterday it even turned into extreme anger. And Chen Zhuo's attitude towards her also became more and more intense, eventually becoming violent and making them husband and wife. Today, for various reasons, she was gentle and submissive towards Chen Zhuo. Chen Zhuo also treated her with respect and extreme care, just like a real husband and wife. Gu Shihan suddenly realized she thought she was a genius. If it weren't for surviving in her family and becoming a female CEO, she would definitely be an excellent psychologist. The more she thought about it, the more she felt this was the truth. You're welcome. I'll wash you again if I have the chance." Gu Shihan instantly transformed into a girl next door, saying thoughtfully. Chen Zhuo, who was about to grab the suit he was going to wear, stumbled and almost lost his balance. He looked at Gu Shihan in disbelief. "No, I'm pretending to be a gentleman to gain emotion points." "Could it be that you also have an emotion point system?" He couldn't figure it out. Chen Zhuo couldn't figure it out. Or, after yesterday's battle, Gu Shihan was directly conquered by him. Even if The Female CEO's Divine Personal Bodyguard was a brainless new media novel, the author wouldn't write the female lead in it to be so brainless, would he? "Are you sure?" "I'm sure. Don't worry, I'm your wife now." Chen Zhuo looked at Gu Shihan's obedient appearance and was even afraid she would poison his food later. Fortunately, his cultivation level had reached Earth rank level 3, so ordinary poisons were useless against him. He wasn't afraid of Gu Shihan having any ulterior motives. Since the other party wanted to be his sweet little darling, then let her be. "All right then, tonight. Tonight I'll take a bath in the tub and you can give me a massage," Chen Zhuo said after a moment's thought. Now it was Gu Shihan's turn to be stunned. She didn't expect Chen Zhuo to be serious. She didn't dare to refuse what Chen Zhuo proposed, and now that she had proposed it herself, she dared even less to refuse. Before she could reply, Chen Zhuo continued. "As a husband's return, I'll help you solve your company's problems." Chen Zhuo glanced at the messy room, the clothes strewn everywhere, the torn stockings. He added, "There are pajamas in the guest room, make do with them. I'll drive you to buy a set of clothes, and then we'll go to the company for a meeting." Chapter 5. At worst, I can pay it back later. Next to the villa area was Zhangjiang's largest luxury shopping street. Time was short, and Gu Shihan was still in her pajamas, feeling embarrassed to be seen. In the end, she bought an identical outfit to yesterday's, spending over 40,000 yuan. The store also provided complimentary makeup services. After some fuss, Gu Shihan regained her cold, aloof female CEO aura from yesterday. She was filled with a desire to conquer. 20 minutes later, Chen Zhuo's Maybach parked in front of the grandest building in Zhangjiang, Bichen Building. Bichen Building was an asset under Chen Zhuo's name. It used to be exclusively for Sheng Tang Group, but later, the group's business model changed, and they no longer needed such a large building. They simply built another one in the new district and moved the entire group there. This building was then rented out. Gu Shihan's Kia Ling Cosmetics Company was a tenant here. Floors 8 to 12. The security guard at the entrance saw a Maybach parked horizontally at the main entrance and was about to say, "Do you know whose property this is? You can't just park a Maybach anywhere." But upon closer inspection of the license plate and the man who got out of the car, his expression instantly changed to a fawning smile. "Chairman Chen, you've arrived. Bichen Building welcomes your inspection." This act made Chen Zhuo cringe with embarrassment. Are all the characters in this novel so Chunabiu? Chen Zhuo tossed the keys over. "Help me find a parking spot. Don't block the entrance and exit. I have something to do, so I'll go up first." With that, he grabbed Gu Shihan's hand and walked inside. Gu Shihan stared blankly at Chen Zhuo, feeling somewhat disoriented. This man, aside from being a little older, didn't seem to have any flaws. Kia Ling Cosmetics' main conference room was on the 11th floor. The elevator doors opened. Chen Zhuo stepped out, while Gu Shihan remained standing inside, still in a daze. Chen Zhuo pulled her out again. "Why are you so distracted? Is something on your mind? Don't worry, I will definitely treat you well from now on." Chen Zhuo directly spouted classic scumbag lines. And according to the original plot, these were the words that the son of fortune, Yi Fan, said to Gu Shihan. Gu Shihan nodded obediently. At this moment, her heart seemed truly touched. Although she was born into a wealthy family, her parents passed away early, and the power struggles within the rich family were incredibly brutal. Now, some people even wanted to seize her company and force her into a political marriage. It could be said that after her parents passed away, she never felt any warmth in that home again. Later, when she founded Kia Ling Cosmetics, the people around her were also full of hypocrisy, all wanting to gain something from her. Only Chen Zhuo. She couldn't find anything she possessed that wasn't readily available to Chen Zhuo. Even her body, she had given it to him last night. Chen Zhuo gave her only sincerity. Ding detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, feels touched, awarding 245 emotion points. Ding detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, has developed a favorable impression, awarding one special lottery draw. Chen Zhuo was stunned again. This time, he wasn't for the system's reward. Moreover, he could understand feeling touched, but what did developed a favorable impression mean? As soon as he used his scumbag lines, Gu Shihan was won over. Is this stuff really that effective on women? General Manager Gu, you're finally here. Everyone is ready, just waiting for you to start the meeting. Just as both of them were pondering their own thoughts, a man in a black suit quickly walked over. Gu Shihan snapped out of it and quickly, awkwardly, pulled her wrist free from Chen Zhuo's hand. Afraid that Chen Zhuo would be displeased, she quickly whispered an explanation into his ear. "If people see us like this in the company, it will be difficult for me to manage later." Chen Zhuo didn't say anything, just nodded in understanding. "I'll be right there." Gu Shihan's tone became cold and aloof. She regained the demeanor a female CEO should have. The man in the black suit was about to turn around when he suddenly noticed a man beside Gu Shihan. He looked closely. He froze. Chen Zhuo might not be known by everyone nationwide, but in Zhangjiang, Even the elderly men and women collecting scrap on the streets knew his name. As a company executive, the man in the suit naturally couldn't not recognize him. "CHCH Chairman Chen, what are you?" The man in the suit suddenly stammered. Chen Zhuo calmly explained. "Oh, Shihan said the company had a bit of a problem, so she asked me to come take a look." Chen Zhuo's explanation was understated, but it exploded in the suit-clad man's mind. The company had a problem, and their own CEO directly brought in Chen Zhuo as a rescuer. Then what the hell were they even meeting for? Solving such a small problem was just a matter of Chen Zhuo's word, wasn't it? If their product couldn't compete with the opposing company, then they would directly suppress and acquire the opposing company. This was a common business tactic. For Chen Zhuo, it was a piece of cake. "What are you standing there for? The meeting," Gu Shihan said sternly to the man in the black suit. She was decisive and efficient at the company. It made Chen Zhuo find it hard to imagine her shy demeanor from earlier today. Could it be, this is what it feels like for a big villain to dominate the city? Chen Zhuo stroked his chin and followed Gu Shihan into the conference room. Gu Shihan instinctively went to sit in the main seat, but halfway down, she remembered Chen Zhuo beside her. She consciously offered the main seat to him and sat down next to him. "All right, marketing department, please introduce the problem in detail." The people below were bewildered to see their usually unyielding CEO give up the main seat. Was this still the general manager Gu, the great female lead they knew? But when they saw clearly that the person sitting in the main seat was Chen Zhuo, they instantly understood. If they didn't give that seat to Chen Zhuo, their company could be kicked out of the building today. Although they weren't clear why the legendary Chairman Chen was at their company, their professional ethics still led each department to deliver their reports with utmost professionalism. Chen Zhuo listened once and understood the general situation. Kia Ling Cosmetics' current flagship product was a skincare essence. In the past 2 years, with the company's promotion of domestic products, super high cost-effectiveness, and genuinely good product effects, relying on this single product, they had established themselves firmly in the domestic cosmetics industry and continued to grow. However, 2 months ago, a company named Shengmei suddenly emerged, also launching a skincare essence. From the start, they collaborated with various internet celebrities and live streamers, constantly buying traffic. Their skincare effects were similar to Kia Ling's, but their price was even lower than Kia Ling's. The production department had calculated based on the ingredients that the opposing company was selling at a loss at that price. Coupled with buying traffic, it was definitely a huge loss. In other words, the other party was burning money to gain market share, aiming to eliminate Kia Ling. Gu Shihan rubbed her temples, feeling a headache. With the opponent resorting to such tactics, there was no other solution but to spend money to fight back. However, the company had invested most of its liquid capital 2 months ago to further expand the market. She also didn't have much personal savings, and as for borrowing money from her family, that was out of the question. Those people in her family would only tell her to give up and marry early. Wait, family. Gu Shihan's eyes lit up as she looked at Chen Zhuo beside her. Chen Zhuo was her man now. Wasn't he her biggest family member? Moreover, if anyone lacked money, Chen Zhuo certainly wouldn't. How about borrowing some from him? At worst, she could just pay him back later. Chen Zhuo also felt Gu Shihan's burning gaze. He didn't rush to speak, but instead reviewed the relevant plot in the system. Finally, he narrowed his eyes and said with interest, "I know you want to say that if the other party burns money, we'll burn money too, to see who laughs last." Gu Shihan was startled. How did Chen Zhuo know what she was thinking? Chen Zhuo paused for 2 seconds, then continued. "And then, some of you will suggest that General Manager Gu borrow money to maintain the market. The result of doing so is that General Manager Gu will be deep in debt, and in the end, the company will still be acquired by others. In just 3 sentences, a few executives below felt a huge wave surge in their hearts. How did Chen Zhuo know their plan? Just as their pupils widened and they stared intently at Chen Zhuo, he pulled out an A4 paper from his pocket. Burning money is just a bubble. A good product is the core. This is a skincare essence formula I put together. If the product's effect is good, no matter how much traffic the other party generates or how many price wars they wage, it will be useless. Of course, before that, I need to clean house for General Manager Gu. Chen Zhu's tone was extremely cold. So cold that those few executives felt like they had fallen into an ice cellar. Chapter 6, Becoming the Heroine's Warm Harbor. Gu Shihan was stunned by what she saw. How could Chen Zhuo know her company's situation better than she did? And where did Chen Zhuo get the skincare essence formula from? Also, Chen Zhuo's aura right now was too handsome. From a young age, Gu Shihan had always presented herself as a strong woman to others. Only she knew that all of it was just a disguise to survive in her family. Which woman doesn't want her own warm haven? Before, she had always fought the waves alone, silently swallowing any grievances and solving any difficulties with extreme caution. She was forced into a corner back then, which was why she agreed to Chen Zhuo's demands. However, it seemed now that the man in front of her was different from what she had imagined. Perhaps Chen Zhuo could be her warm haven. Ding detected a significant increase in the female lead Gu Shihan's favorability towards you, rewarding one special lottery draw. Hearing the system's prompt, Chen Zhuo subconsciously looked at Gu Shihan. No way, she was won over just like that. Seeing Chen Zhuo's gaze, Gu Shihan quickly stood up. She told the executives below, from now on, all company matters will follow Chairman Chen's instructions. Hearing this, the few executives who still wanted to instigate Gu Shihan to dismiss Chen Zhuo saw their last glimmer of hope extinguished. As long as Chen Zhuo took over with his capabilities, it was only a matter of time before they were fired. What they didn't know was that what awaited them was far more than just dismissal. After the meeting, Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan arrived at the CEO's office on the 12th floor. Gu Shihan's office was very large, with a full-length French window on one side, offering a perfect view of the river. How did you know there were problems with our company? And that formula. Closing the soundproof door of the office, Gu Shihan, like a curious child, blurted out all the questions she wanted to ask. Chen Zhuo naturally couldn't say that he was a transmigrator with a system, so he directly sat in the boss's chair and began to concoct a story. I know you thought I targeted Kyling Cosmetics because I wanted to force you into marriage. Actually, at first, I wanted the group to open up a beauty industry, so I set my sights on Kyling, wanting to take over something already established. So I sent people to conduct a detailed investigation of Kyling, inside and out, and discovered those problems, including several executives colluding with outsiders, leaking formulas, and trying to destroy Kyling. And I also realized that the only reason Kyling succeeded was entirely because of that one skincare essence. Acquiring Kyling wouldn't be as good as developing a better formula ourselves and starting a new company. As for the marriage later, I genuinely admire you. To grow up in such an environment and still achieve such a career is truly outstanding. Chen Zhu's spiel was quite a deception. He even believed himself. It was a good thing he didn't choose to write novels back then. His storytelling ability would at least make him a famous author. The massive amount of information left Gu Shihan stunned. So Chen Zhuo didn't use so many disgusting tactics because he coveted her body. So, in Chen Zhuo's eyes, she was so excellent. So, Chen Zhuo was willing to bring out the most core essence formula for her. In that instant, her last line of defense in her heart was also breached. She directly sat on Chen Zhuo's lap. Her cherry lips pressed against his. Chen Zhuo was dumbfounded. No way, this girl was so bold when she opened up. Ding, detected that the female lead Gu Shihan has completely fallen for you, rewarding one hidden level lottery draw. Since that's the case, I won't be polite. An hour later. So you like the thrill of the office, Chen Zhuo said teasingly, tidying his clothes and sitting back in his chair. Gu Shihan's face was so red it looked like it could drip water. No way oh, never mind. This office, I had it specially soundproofed for rest, so no one outside can hear. I know, you don't need to explain specifically. Oh my. Gu Shihan's face grew even redder. Can you get up now? Lying here to rest isn't a solution, Chen Zhuo said seriously, no longer teasing her. Ow, it hurts. Gu Shihan tried a few times. She could force herself to get up, but it hurt. Don't move, I'll give you another massage. Twice like this within 24 hours. Even God-level massage couldn't save her. However, Chen Zhuo had true qi in his body. With God-level massage combined with true qi, even if you were half dead, he could bring you back. Gu Shihan only felt Chen Zhuo's palms become a little warmer, and the massage didn't hurt as much as it had in the morning. 15 minutes later, Chen Zhuo was drenched in sweat. Although his cultivation level, Earth rank level 3, was high, outputting true qi still required some effort. Plus, this was Chen Zhuo's first attempt, which was particularly draining. Chen Zhuo plopped back into his chair. This was much more tiring than before. I need to rest for a bit. Gu Shihan, however, felt completely refreshed. She sat up, looking at Chen Zhuo apologetically. She said with some guilt, Are you all right? Should I get you a glass of water? Chen Zhuo shook his head. I'm fine, but you should put your clothes on first, so you don't catch a cold. Gu Shihan's cheeks immediately flushed again. She picked up the clothes from the floor and quickly put them on. This time, her clothes weren't damaged, but her stockings were torn. Gu Shihan looked at the bruises on her legs. Although they were much better after Chen Zhuo's massage, they were still noticeable upon closer inspection. It would be bad if the company's employees misunderstood. She had to wear a pair of stockings to cover them up. She pulled open the drawer under her desk. Inside was an unopened pair of black stockings. Chen Zhuo teased, I didn't expect a female CEO's desk to hold black stockings instead of documents. These things break easily. The last time I bought some to the company, I put the extras here as spares. Gu Shihan quickly explained. By the time Gu Shihan had tidied up, Chen Zhuo had also mostly recovered. He asked Gu Shihan, Are you really going to let me handle your company's affairs? Gu Shihan paused, struggled internally, and then said sincerely, How about I just give you the company? It seems I can't manage it. The high-intensity business battles of this period made Gu Shihan feel like she was piloting a broken ship through stormy seas. And all around her were covetous enemies. After being tired for so long, she wanted to rest. Chen Zhuo hadn't expected Gu Shihan to give him the company. However, he wouldn't take it. It wouldn't be a big deal for the group to have an extra subsidiary, but what if Gu Shihan became idle and followed him around every day? Wouldn't that affect his ability to earn emotional value? Kyling Cosmetics is your hard work. How can I take it? How about this? I'll be the honorary director and all important company decisions will follow my arrangements. You'll handle the other matters. Gu Shihan's eyes lit up. She truly couldn't bear to leave Kyling. She was just afraid of the increasingly brutal business battles. If Chen Zhuo was there, it would be different. Although he would only be an honorary director, who in Zhangjiang would dare to make a move on Kyling in the future? Thinking of this, she remembered the most important thing. You said some of Kyling's high-level executives were colluding with outsiders. Who are they? Chen Zhuo shook his head. You don't need to worry about this. Leave it to me. Gu Shihan softly hummed in agreement. She would listen to Chen Zhuo about everything now. There's one more thing. I have a small dinner gathering tonight, so I might not be coming home. Gu Shihan's voice grew softer and softer as she spoke. and after finishing, she quickly explained, seemingly afraid Chen Zhuo would misunderstand. It's not that I don't want to come back. It was arranged a long time ago with a good friend of mine, a female, at the apartment where I used to live. Chapter 7, There is such a good place. Female friend, apartment dinner party. Chen Zhuo instantly latched onto these 3 keywords. After some thought, he said with a serious expression, "It's fine. I don't know where to eat tonight anyway, so I'll just eat with you." Ugh. Gu Shihan's mouth was slightly agape, her face filled with astonishment. What kind of expression is that? You don't want me to come? No, it's not that. There's a bit of a problem here. Gu Shihan said weakly. What problem? Well, if you want to come, you can, but you can't expose our relationship. Chen Zhuo raised an eyebrow, feigning displeasure. In reality, he was already secretly overjoyed. How could such a good thing happen? Seeing Chen Zhuo's expression, Gu Shihan quickly explained. It's not what you're thinking. That apartment, I rented it with a few good sisters from my dance team after I graduated from university. We all said back then that we wouldn't find men and would always stay together. However, as time passed, due to our respective careers, everyone except me no longer lives there regularly. Even though they don't live there, none of them are married yet. As their former captain, if they knew I got married first, it would be quite embarrassing. Gu Shihan felt a little awkward, giving this explanation. As adults, who would still care about such a childish promise from years ago? However, she truly did think that way. That period of time was the only innocent and romantic time in her life. It was also the most precious thing in her heart. Even if it seemed childish, she wanted to maintain it. Chen Zhuo didn't notice Gu Shihan's blush at all. He only heard the most important keywords throughout her entire explanation. Dance team, a few sisters, not yet married. How could any villain refuse such a good place? He quickly opened the system and used the relevant plot search. Sure enough, this apartment was several units combined into a large flat. At its peak, 6 girls lived there. To be able to form a dance team at Zhangjiang University, which was filled with beauties, each of them had a beauty score of over 90. Later, after graduation, dance was, after all, just a hobby, and it was difficult to make a living from it. Everyone also entered different industries. In the original plot, the son of fortune, Yi Fan, used Gu Shihan as a connection to bring all 5 of the remaining innocent girls into his harem. It was simply outrageous. Chen Zhuo was furious just reading about it. Such an outrageous thing should be done by him. He was a villain, he wasn't afraid. So that's how it is. All right, I agree. Gu Shihan's eyes lit up. Really? Of course, your request, I must agree to it. Gu Shihan couldn't resist and came up to hug and kiss Chen Zhuo again. Thank you. An hour later, Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan walked out of the office. The two walked downstairs side by side. The company employees secretly observed them. Is our general manager hooking up with the big shot Chen Zhuo? Don't talk nonsense. I heard from people upstairs that our company seems to be selling to Chen Zhuo. Selling to Chen Zhuo. Even so, they don't need to stay in the office for so long, do they? Who knows? Wait, have you noticed something? What? I remember General Manager Gu was wearing flesh-colored stockings when she went in, but how did they become black stockings when she came out? Walking out of the first-floor lobby, the same security guard as before was still on duty at the entrance. He saw Chen Zhuo's figure and quickly went to greet him. Chairman Chen, these are the car keys. It's in parking space 1, the outermost one. Chen Zhuo nodded. Although this security guard was a bit chunibyo, he was quite meticulous and even knew to park his car in the most convenient spot. He took the car keys, and just as he was about to walk out, he suddenly remembered something. He handed the car keys to Gu Shihan, asking her to drive the car to the entrance. After Gu Shihan left, he turned around again. He asked the security guard, "What's your name?" The security guard was stunned for 2 seconds, followed by ecstatic joy. The legendary big shot, Chairman Chen, actually asked him his name. My name is Wang Defa. Wang Defa, this is my business card. Chen Zhuo took out a hard card from his pocket and handed it over. Then he said, "It's like this, if you know a man named Yi Fan comes for an interview, call me immediately." Yi Fan was currently Earth rank level 3, and Chen Zhuo was also Earth rank level 3. Chen Zhuo was not afraid of him in terms of strength. He was just afraid that Yi Fan would jump the gun and do something to force Gu Shihan. Wang Defa respectfully took the business card from Chen Zhuo's hand. Starting today, he would work 24 hours a day just to wait for this Yi Fan. After Gu Shihan drove the car out, Chen Zhuo switched to the driver's seat. The map was set to the residential area where Gu Shihan rented her apartment. 18 minutes later, the Maybach stopped in the underground parking lot. Gu Shihan took out her phone and made a call. "Xiaoman, have you arrived?" "Wow, you've already prepared all the dishes for grilling. I'm coming right up. I brought someone else, so please prepare an extra set of tableware." She hung up the phone. Gu Shihan's face showed a lot more genuine smiles. There was also a lightness that Chen Zhuo hadn't seen before. At this moment, Gu Shihan, though dressed in professional attire, exuded the youthful vibrancy of a university student. Chen Zhuo also understood. It seemed this place was truly important to Gu Shihan. Standing in the elevator, Gu Shihan began to introduce. "The girl having barbecue with us today is Jiang Xiaoman. She's now a famous, beautiful counselor at Zhangjiang University. Back then, she was also the star of our dance team." The title star was a joke they made privately. Realizing she had misspoken, Gu Shihan quickly corrected herself. No, she was the best member. Although her figure and face weren't the absolute best, she had a very special girlish charm, the kind that's completely pure, so innocent that you just want to protect her at first glance. Gu Shihan praised her from the bottom of her heart. "Oh dear, I'm getting off topic. Remember, when she asks who you are later, I'll say the company ran into some difficulties, and you're an investor I found." Chen Zhuo naturally agreed to this suggestion with both hands. No problem. He would go and meet this beautiful counselor today. Speaking of which, he was the largest shareholder of Zhangjiang University. Even before Gu Shihan and her friends attended university, Chen Zhuo had donated a building to Zhangjiang University. If he were to visit Zhangjiang University, the principal would have to stand by respectfully to introduce him. Upon reaching the floor, as the elevator doors opened, a carpeted hallway appeared before them. Gu Shihan proudly introduced, "This entire floor is mine, and the elevator only stops here with a card swipe, so there's no main door installed." Chen Zhuo looked around and was also very satisfied with the place. Such a large place, he could have as much fun as he wanted in the future. "Sister Shihan, you're back." Just then, a woman with air bangs and long hair softly falling behind her walked out. She was wearing a very simple white t-shirt and a denim half-skirt. Chen Zhuo understood with just one look. He understood why Gu Shihan said her aura was very different. This woman was like someone who had stepped out of a youth film, making people feel a strong urge to protect her at first glance. It was hard to imagine that she would actually be a university counselor. Jiang Xiaoman also noticed the tall, mature-looking man standing beside Gu Shihan. "Sister Shihan, this is your boyfriend." Jiang Xiaoman's eyes darted around like a curious child. Gu Shihan quickly denied it. "Of course he's not my boyfriend. My company has been having some issues recently, and he's an investor I found." In a sense, Gu Shihan's words were not wrong. Chen Zhuo was indeed not her boyfriend, but her husband. "Oh, Tilda." Jiang Xiaoman let out a slightly disappointed "oh." Then she carefully scrutinized Chen Zhuo again. She had a feeling she had seen this person somewhere before. Chapter 8, the foodie heroine just control her. But she just couldn't recall. Although Chen Zhuo's name was well known throughout Zhangjiang, Jiang Xiaomin had always been a good girl living in an ivory tower since she was little. During her student days, her only thought was to study hard. Now that she was working, her thought became taking good care of the students under her charge. Her favorite leisure activities were reading books, listening to music, visiting art exhibitions and museums. At most, she would go hiking outdoors to see the scenery. As for things like murder mystery games or concerts, she wasn't interested at all, let alone bars or nightclubs. Besides these entertainment activities, Jiang Xiaomin had one biggest hobby: food. She had to taste anything new and unfamiliar, and if she liked it, she would devour it. The crucial thing was, she could eat a lot without getting fat. Back when she was on the dance team, everyone on the team envied her. It was precisely because Jiang Xiaomin said she wanted to eat barbecue a few days ago that this gathering came about today. "Hello, my name is Chen Zhuo." Seeing Jiang Xiaomin looking a bit dazed, Chen Zhuo took the initiative to greet her. Hello Chen Zhuo. My name is Jiang. Wait, you said your name is Chen Zhuo." Jiang Xiaomin was instinctively introducing herself, but she paused halfway through. The name Chen Zhuo suddenly came to her mind. Chen Zhuo, Shengteng Group Chairman, the largest shareholder of Zhangjiang University. Chen Zhuo nodded, extending his hand. "Yes, that's me. Today I was talking business with Miss Gu too late, and I just heard her say she was coming back to eat barbecue, so I came over to freeload a meal. I hope you don't mind." Chen Zhuo behaved with great gentlemanly demeanor. Even Gu Shihan beside him was muttering to herself. Perhaps those people outside who said he was ruthless were slandering him. A true big shot should be refined and amiable. Although Jiang Xiaomin was naive, the fact that a big shot of Chen Zhuo's caliber was going to eat barbecue with her tonight still put a lot of pressure on her. However, she couldn't refuse either. No problem. I just happened to prepare a lot of ingredients today." "Oh, right. Sister Shihan, I haven't finished washing my ingredients yet. Come to the kitchen and help me." "Okay." Gu Shihan then said to Chen Zhuo, "You can sit in the living room for a while. We'll be ready soon." The kitchen in the house was the innermost room, very large. It could make Western food, Chinese food, cakes and bread, and even had equipment for making ice cream. Gu Shihan walked into the kitchen and looked at the ingredients neatly placed on the plates on the table, her face full of questions. "Xiaomin, you've already prepared all these ingredients. What do you want me to prepare?" Jiang Xiaomin put a finger to her lips, signaling Gu Shihan to be quiet. Then she whispered, "Quick, tell me what's going on. Have you found a rich patron?" Jiang Xiaomin was naive, not stupid. She didn't believe Chen Zhuo's story about talking business and then coming to freeload a meal. Would a big shot of Chen Zhuo's caliber need to freeload a meal? Gu Shihan felt a bit guilty when asked. She hesitated whether to tell the truth. Seeing Gu Shihan's hesitant expression, Jiang Xiaomin knew she had guessed correctly and said triumphantly, "Oh, Sister Shihan, you were the one who suggested we all not look for men. How could you betray us?" Upon hearing this, Gu Shihan immediately abandoned the idea of telling the truth. This was her stubbornness. "Don't just guess wildly. I'll tell you, but don't tell anyone else." "Don't worry, I'll definitely keep it a secret." Jiang Xiaomin's eyes were wide open, looking like she was ready for some gossip. Gu Shihan sighed and began to pour out her troubles, explaining the company's recent difficulties. Then she added, "I'm looking for him to help me out, otherwise, my family will force me into a marriage alliance. As for why I invited him to eat barbecue, this move is called a honey trap. Remember to be nice to him later. If you offend him, I'll make you suffer." Jiang Xiaomin replayed what Gu Shihan said in her mind. It seemed there were no logical errors. Moreover, Gu Shihan had already talked about the company's affairs in their group chat. "All right then, I'll talk less later. Shiying, you're so miserable for your career, you even have to please a man you don't like." Gu Shihan, living room. Chen Zhuo sat alone on the sofa, turning on the TV but not watching it. He was studying the system. Besides his personal information page, this system could also check the data of various male and female protagonists. He was currently looking at Jiang Xiaoman. Jiang Xiaoman's beauty could reach above 98 points. Coupled with her rare innocent and youthful temperament, she was naturally one of the female protagonists. Name, Jiang Xiaoman. Identity, female protagonist of the CEO's divine personal bodyguard, beautiful counselor at Zhangjiang University. Appearance, 99 points. Figure, 96 points. Favorability, 50. Note, stranger's favorability is 47. Note, favorability can be negative. The information is a bit sparse. This favorability is a bit low, but it's not a hellish start yet. Chen Zhuo was contemplating when suddenly, the system notification sounded. Ding! Detected that female protagonist Jiang Xiaoman has developed a dislike for you, rewarding 157 emotion points. Chen Zhuo was stunned. No, system, you can eavesdrop on thoughts, can't you? Chen Zhuo watched Jiang Xiaoman's favorability on her information page drop directly from 50 to 32. He was very confused. Although he gained emotion points, he had been sitting in the living room pretending to watch TV. Jiang Xiaoman was preparing dishes with Gu Shihan in the kitchen. They had no interaction. How did it turn into developing a dislike? Wait, did Gu Shihan say something to Jiang Xiaoman? Just as he was confused, Jiang Xiaoman and Gu Shihan came out carrying plates of meat. Chairman Chen, come and eat barbecue, Gu Shihan cheerfully called out. This truly felt like a family. Chen Zhuo stood up, no longer thinking about it. First, fill his stomach. Gu Shihan and Jiang Xiaoman brought out the prepared dishes. Chen Zhuo wasn't idle either. He turned on the electric grill and began to mix seasonings with the spice tray and bowls. He suddenly remembered that he had previously received a reward for intermediate cooking skills. He was very skilled at mixing seasonings. Seasoning might not seem difficult, but to get it just right and make it delicious requires a chef's excellent control over various flavors. Each seasoning must be in the right amount, not too much, not too little. It's like mixing paints for painting. What's needed is that perfect balance. Chen Zhuo didn't know Jiang Xiaoman and Gu Shihan's preferences, so he mixed two standard versions. They could add chili oil according to their own tastes later. Gu Shihan and Jiang Xiaoman were very surprised to see Chen Zhuo actually mixing seasonings for them. Was he really that legendary big shot? Are you mixing this for us? Gu Shihan asked curiously. Of course, I was interested in cooking for a while over 10 years ago and learned a bit from a master. You can comment on my sauce later. Chen Zhuo casually made up a story. Gu Shihan and Jiang Xiaoman, with curiosity, began to spray oil and grill the meat. The meat slices cooked quickly, soon changing color. Gu Shihan eagerly picked up a piece, dipped it in her sauce, and put it into her mouth with her chopsticks. The faint mellow aroma of sesame paste and beef sauce instantly spread in her oral cavity, followed by the fragrance of green onions, garlic. Gu Shihan's saliva also began to secrete. Her teeth tore the fatty beef, and she swallowed it in one bite. Refreshing. Although these ingredients were all high-end and fresh, when she ate them before, the taste was very bland. Today, with the enhancement of Chen Zhuo's sauce, the taste directly went up 3 notches. Only those professional barbecue restaurants could compare. Ding! Detected that female protagonist Gu Shihan has given you 10,000 likes, rewarding 322 emotion points. Hearing the system notification, Chen Zhuo was satisfied. It was for these emotion points that he mixed the sauce. With the emotion points in hand, his intermediate cooking skills were not wasted. Jiang Xiaoman, beside him, looked at Gu Shihan's satisfied and enjoying expression, very puzzled. Was this barbecue really that delicious? She remembered that Gu Shihan didn't have very high demands for food, did she? Chapter 9. The bait has been cast. She could even be described as indifferent. When Gu Shihan was on the dance team before, her main priority was just getting full. She had absolutely no demands regarding food, which is why she lost weight quickly and always maintained her devilish figure. Why is she eating barbecue today, as if it were some incredible delicacy? Jiang Xiaoman, full of questions, also picked up a piece of grilled fatty beef and dipped it into the barbecue sauce in front of her. She blew on it to cool it down, then put it into her mouth. Then her eyes widened. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. This ordinary barbecue meat was actually this delicious after being dipped in the sauce prepared by Chen Zhuo. The ingredients were all bought by her, and they were very ordinary things. There were no special additives to speak of. Yet these ordinary seasonings, combined by Chen Zhuo, could taste this good. Jiang Xiaoman was stunned. As a major foodie, after taking that bite of barbecue, her impression of Chen Zhuo did a complete 180-degree turn. Ding! Detected that the female protagonist Jiang Xiaoman is extremely impressed with you, rewarding 421 emotion points. Ding! Detected that the female protagonist Jiang Xiaoman has developed a favorable impression of you, rewarding 345 emotion points. Because this was the first time Jiang Xiaoman felt these emotions toward Chen Zhuo, the emotion point reward was especially high. Chen Zhuo was extremely pleased. This meant he had earned a chance to draw a prize just by mixing 2 bowls of sauce. However, what made him even happier was Jiang Xiaoman's attitude. This girl actually went from feeling disgust to developing a favorable impression just because of a single bite of food. She is a total foodie. To capture the heart of a foodie, you must first capture her stomach. Chen Zhuo thought for a moment. To completely conquer Jiang Xiaoman, his intermediate cooking skill seemed insufficient. He needed to draw prizes a few more times to upgrade this skill to God rank. But for eating barbecue today, it was certainly enough. Chairman Chen, the sauce you made tastes wonderful, Gu Shihan praised sincerely. Her chopsticks were moving very quickly now, afraid that Jiang Xiaoman would snatch everything off the grill. Jiang Xiaoman was currently like a kitten, quietly eating her meal without speaking, completely immersed in the delicious food. If it's good, eat more. After speaking, Chen Zhuo also started eating. Although his current cultivation level had reached Earth rank level 3, it was not yet at the point where he could abstain from eating. Even the highest heaven rank level 5 cannot completely abstain from eating. However, the higher the level, the more energy one can absorb from the surroundings, and the less food one needs to eat. Of course, this is from the perspective of maintaining physical strength. From the perspective of satisfying the palate, you can eat as much as you want. Chen Zhuo had only eaten breakfast this morning and was already hungry. The 3 of them devoured the food rapidly, and the grill couldn't keep up with their eating speed. This meal lasted a full 40 minutes. Fortunately, Jiang Xiaoman had purchased enough ingredients, and in the end, they only had a pile of lettuce leaves left. Burp Tilda. Jiang Xiaoman patted her stomach. She was truly full today. Gu Shihan also felt a little embarrassed after eating, as she cared deeply about her image in front of Chen Zhuo. I'm sorry, your sauce was simply too delicious. Haha, if I have the chance next time, I'll eat with you again. I really like the atmosphere here. It's very relaxed. Chen Zhuo started his big spiel again. Gu Shihan didn't notice his ulterior motives. She genuinely felt that the meal was very comfortable and pleasant. She readily agreed. Okay, as long as you have time, we'll invite you to our next gathering. Jiang Xiaoman weakly chimed in from the side. Me too, don't forget me. Gu Shihan rolled her eyes at her. Don't worry, when it comes to eating, I could forget anyone, but I won't forget you. Chen Zhuo was overjoyed internally. Yes, the more the merrier. It would be best if you called all your sisters over. Jiang Xiaoman was visibly very happy. She really enjoyed this barbecue meal today. She awkwardly said to Chairman Chen, Chairman Chen, could you teach me how to mix this sauce? Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Jiang Xiaoman wanted to get the recipe directly, so she could make it herself whenever she wanted to eat it. With such a great opportunity, how could Chen Zhuo simply hand over the recipe? Of course I can teach you, but this involves many details. Just telling you the recipe won't be enough for you to learn it. I'll teach you personally when the opportunity arises. Ah, that's wonderful. Thank you, Chairman Chen. I'll definitely treat you to a delicious meal sometime, Jiang Xiaoman said excitedly. Gu Shihan, sitting next to her, rolled her eyes again. Chairman Chen was just being polite, and you took it seriously. Chairman Chen is so busy. How could he have time to teach you? Jiang Xiaoman nodded and let out a disappointed "oh." She really wanted to learn. Hey, you shouldn't say that. Didn't I have time today, for example? Seeing Jiang Xiaoman's disappointed look, Chen Zhuo gave her a glimmer of hope. The bait has been cast. Now all that's left is to wait for the fish to bite. Great, I'll definitely come to the next gathering, Jiang Xiaoman said, clenching her fist. Gu Shihan and Jiang Xiaoman cleaned up the dining table, while Chen Zhuo used the excuse of needing to move around after eating to tour the house. Excluding the kitchen and bathroom, this large flat had 7 rooms in total, 3 large rooms and 4 small rooms. The decorating style of each room was different. Some even differed significantly from the main decorative theme of the house. A strong personal style was evident. However, the items in these rooms looked like they hadn't been used for a long time. Only one large bedroom with a black and white theme had clothes scattered on the bed, clearly belonging to Gu Shihan. How about I sleep here tonight? After cleaning the kitchen, Jiang Xiaoman said she had things to do at school tomorrow morning, so she wouldn't stay here tonight and needed to go back. Gu Shihan didn't try to stop her. As for Chen Zhuo, he did want to keep her, to enjoy the feeling of having a beauty on each arm and harvest a large wave of emotion points. But he also understood that sometimes you cannot rush things. Rushing might be counterproductive. After seeing Jiang Xiaoman off, Chen Zhuo stretched. He said to Gu Shihan, who was nearby, I'm going to take a shower. You come and give me a massage. Gu Shihan had promised this morning, so she had no reason to refuse. Furthermore, she recalled how tired Chen Zhuo looked in the office today because of her, and she felt heartbroken. Okay, I'll bring you some clothes to wash, but I don't seem to have any clothes here that fit you. No clothes that fit me. Isn't that perfect? Putting them on and taking them off is too much trouble. Chen Zhuo didn't care at all. He started running the bathwater. Today, he was going to perform a dance in the rain with Gu Shihan. 2 hours later, Gu Shihan weakly said, Husband, why don't you find me a sister? Chapter 10, You keep talking, I'm listening. It was 2:30 p.m. the next day when Chen Zhuo finally woke up from his sleep. Gu Shihan's proposal yesterday had made him so happy that he couldn't sleep. Chen Zhuo leaned against the headboard of the bed and yawned. For excitement last night, he had opened the bedroom curtains and never closed them. The sunlight from outside shone through the window, a bit dazzling. Gu Shihan lay beside him, still fast asleep. Chen Zhuo got out of bed, intending to find something to eat in the fridge, only to realize he had no clothes to wear. Yesterday's clothes were still soaking in water and couldn't be worn. Never mind, I'll eat first. Chen Zhuo shook his head and found some bread and a bottle of milk in the refrigerator. Gu Shihan had been living here, so there was quite a lot of food in the fridge. By the time Chen Zhuo finished eating and returned to the bedroom, Gu Shihan had also woken up. Ugh. Gu Shihan, whose mind was still hazy from sleep, screamed when she saw Chen Zhuo's appearance. Why are you shouting? I don't have any clothes to wear, Chen Zhuo said helplessly. Gu Shihan, then remembered what had happened last night. Her fair, tender cheeks instantly turned red. Oh no, what did I say yesterday? I actually asked him to find me a sister. Shameful, extremely shameful. Gu Shihan felt as if her pure image, which she had maintained for over 20 years, had collapsed at that moment. She had secretly bought the toys in her safe, and no one knew about them. Then, a hint of worry emerged. Chen Zhuo wouldn't think she was a hussy, would he? Gu Shihan's mood became very complicated. Ding! Detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, feels ashamed, rewarding 148 emotion points. Ding! Detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, is very worried, rewarding 112 emotion points. Hearing the system's prompt, Chen Zhuo was stunned. He could get emotion points just like that. Do you really not have any clothes for me here? Pajamas would be fine too. My pajamas are all women's styles, and they have strawberry bunnies on them. Do you want to wear them? Seeing that Chen Zhuo's tone was normal, Gu Shihan put away her thoughts and said seriously, "Strawberry bunnies." Chen Zhuo shook his head. Then forget it. I'll have someone buy me a set and send it over. As a top boss, Chen Zhuo naturally had his own personal staff. However, because he wanted to get closer to Gu Shihan, Chen Zhuo hadn't brought them along. A phone call to them would easily resolve this matter. Gu Shihan quickly said, "No, this place of mine is very private. I don't want outsiders coming over. How about this? The mall is downstairs. I'll go buy you a set and bring it up." Chen Zhuo nodded. Gu Shihan voluntarily offered to buy him clothes, so of course, he wouldn't refuse. Speaking of which, before he transmigrated, he was always chasing girls and buying things for others, only to receive the response that accepting your gift doesn't mean accepting you. Gu Shihan picked up her phone from the bedside table and said, "Let me see what day it is today. The mall has a members' day every week, and I have a lot of membership points." Chen Zhuo was a little surprised. He hadn't expected Gu Shihan, who grew up in a big family, never worrying about food or drink, and getting whatever she wanted, to be so thrifty and good at managing a household. How is it already Thursday today? When Gu Shihan saw the date on her phone, she immediately sat up, her voice a little anxious. "What's wrong?" "Oh no, today is grandfather's 90th birthday, and the family has prepared a family banquet. It's already been going on for a long time now, and I actually forgot about it. Those people in the family already dislike me and always want me to marry into the Zhu family with that profligate young master. If I'm late today, they'll find another excuse to pressure me." Gu Shihan was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. She didn't like the Gu family members, so she always lived outside by herself. But this grandfather was different. Although he wasn't her biological grandfather, he had protected her since she was little in the family. If it weren't for him, Gu Shihan would have been married off as a bargaining chip long ago. Therefore, she could miss anyone else's birthday in the Gu family, but not this grandfather's. These past 2 days, with marrying Chen Zhuo and the company crisis, she actually forgot about this. Chen Zhuo sat beside her and also remembered the plot from the book. This Gu family banquet was the first official appearance of the son of destiny, Yi Fan. It was also his first stop for showing off and slapping faces. It was at this family banquet that Gu Shihan formed a very good first impression of Yi Fan. This laid the groundwork for the later plot. Seeing this, Chen Zhuo immediately became interested. This family banquet was going to be lively. The son of destiny, Yi Fan, showing off and slapping faces. If he didn't go stir things up, he wouldn't even dare to call himself the big villain. He absolutely had to go. "Is that so? Don't worry. The official birthday celebration is in the evening. You go get ready. I'll go with you later." Chen Zhuo's steady voice was like a reassurance. Gu Shihan instantly felt much less flustered. However, she was still a little worried. My family doesn't know that I'm married to you. What should I say if you come?" Chen Zhuo stroked her elastic cheek. "Just tell them the truth. What, am I too old and you're embarrassed to show me off? No, no. Gu Shihan quickly shook her head, afraid that Chen Zhuo would misunderstand. She really wasn't mentally prepared yet. Just the day before yesterday, Chen Zhuo was still a big devil in her heart, using every means possible to force her to marry him. Only 2 days had passed, and Chen Zhuo had already become her backbone. Such a rapid change would make anyone feel a little unaccustomed. Then we'll go together, thank you. Chen Zhuo looked at Gu Shihan's girlish demeanor and laughed heartily. This female lead is really interesting. He pinched Gu Shihan's cheek again. All right, hurry up and get dressed and ready. Go buy my clothes quickly, size XL or so. Gu Shihan nodded obediently. She found a very girlish white dress in the wardrobe. After changing into it, there was no trace of a formal CEO anymore. She looked completely like a pure college girl who had just left school. I didn't expect Gu Shihan to have such a contrast. Her personality, her temperament are all. Half an hour later, Gu Shihan walked in with 9 sets of clothes. The 9 sets of clothes actually only had 3 styles, but each style had 3 sizes. Gu Shihan was afraid that Chen Zhuo's XL size wouldn't fit, so she spoke to the manager and brought them up to choose herself. She was a gold card user at the mall downstairs, and the managers of each store readily agreed. So many. Different sizes, try which one fits you. Chen Zhuo felt a warmth in his heart. He hadn't expected Gu Shihan to be so thoughtful. If he had met her before transmigrating, they really could have had a good life together forever. But now, he was the big villain. His mission was to spread love. To let all the female leads feel the taste of love. Officer, you continue, I'm listening. Chapter 11, Gu family dinner want to play dirty. Finally, Gu Shihan chose a blue suit for Chen Zhuo. The suit's cut was very youthful, completely different from the mature suit Chen Zhuo had worn from home. Chen Zhuo's cultivation had now reached Earth rank level 3. His physical condition had undergone drastic changes, and even his appearance had become somewhat younger. Coupled with this youthful suit, Chen Zhuo didn't look like he was in his 40s at all. At first glance, he looked like a young man in his late 20s. Chen Zhuo looked at himself in the mirror. He had to admit, Gu Shihan's eye for clothes was really good. Gu Shihan looked at Chen Zhuo, also very satisfied. The current Chen Zhuo was simply a handsome, wealthy, top-tier successful person. If he were out, countless fangirls would come up to ask for his contact information. Although Chen Zhuo was 20 years older than her in actual age, she wasn't at a disadvantage at all when it came down to it. Chen Zhuo was practically a 5-sided warrior. Let's go, where's your Gu family's villa? We'll head over now, Chen Zhuo said, tidying his clothes. Wait for me here for a moment. I haven't had breakfast yet. I'll grab some bread and then we can go together. After Gu Shihan finished speaking, she quickly slipped out to eat breakfast. Chen Zhuo sat on the single sofa, taking advantage of the free time to check the system's rewards. He opened his personal information. Name, Chen Zhuo. Status, Shengteng Group Chairman. Social reputation value, 94, maximum value is 100. Stamina value, 89, no maximum value, average for ordinary people is 70. Mental strength, 79, no maximum value, average for ordinary people is 62. Endurance value, 66, no maximum value, average for ordinary people is 57. Skills, God level massage, intermediate cooking. Items, advanced skin essence formula. Cultivation level, Earth rank level 3. Lottery inventory, 2 special draws, 1 hidden grade draw. Emotion value, 3832. Including the regular draws from emotion value, Chen Zhuo now had 6 more drawing opportunities. He immediately initiated a 6-draw streak. Ding! Congratulations on receiving a special draw reward. 5 Death Warriors, cultivation level human rank level 5. They are 100% loyal to you. Ding! Congratulations on receiving a special draw reward. God-level combat technique. Ding! Congratulations on receiving a hidden grade draw reward. Female protagonist location map. Using this map, you can view the real-time location of all known female protagonists. Ding! Congratulations on receiving a regular draw reward. 1 free attribute point. Ding! Congratulations on receiving a regular draw reward. 1 cloud brocade jade pendant. This jade pendant is crafted from Tiantian extreme jade, and wearing it has the effect of dispelling heat and calming the mind. Ding! Congratulations on receiving a regular draw reward. God-level cooking. After 6 system prompts, the emotion value balance became 832. Chen Zhuo added that 1 free attribute point to his mental strength. The higher his mental strength, the more efficient he would be at tasks, and the less fatigue he would feel. Then he opened the female protagonist location map. Currently, there were only 2 red dots on the map, one next to him and one at Zhangjiang University. They were moving in real time. The 2 red dots corresponded to Gu Shihan and Jiang Xiaoman, respectively. This item wasn't of much use to Chen Zhuo right now, but it could prevent the Son of Destiny from jumping the gun. If anything happened, he could rush there immediately. Among the 6 rewards, Chen Zhuo liked the 5 Death Warriors the most. According to the system's description, he only needed to issue commands, and these 5 Death Warriors would execute them unconditionally. Moreover, these 5 Death Warriors had a cultivation level of human rank level 5. It seemed weak, but in this world, only top-tier magnates could afford bodyguards from the cultivation world. Let alone human rank level 5, even Heaven Realm stage, one would have many people scrambling for them. Human rank level 5 was already considered a half-step Earth rank. They were treated as honored guests in all major families. This was also why the Son of Destiny could run rampant in the original plot. Not bad, now there's someone to do the dirty work. After sorting through these major rewards, Chen Zhuo took out the cloud brocade jade pendant from his inventory. This jade pendant was entirely black, with some characters carved on it that he couldn't understand. Holding it in his palm, a cool sensation indeed emanated from it. However, for a cultivator like Chen Zhuo, it wasn't of much use. Moreover, this thing was too ugly. It was only suitable for elderly men and women to wear. Even if he gave it to Gu Shihan, it would affect her temperament. After thinking about it, he threw this jade pendant back into the system's item inventory. All right, I'm done eating, let's go. Just then, Gu Shihan appeared at the doorway with her mouth full, milk stains still at the corners of her lips. Chen Zhuo stood up and raised his hand to wipe it off for her. Eat slowly, these few extra minutes won't make a difference, what's the rush? Gu Shihan nodded obediently. Meanwhile, in the Riverside Villa district, at the Gu family of Zhangjiang. Although it was still afternoon, many people had already arrived at the villa. Gu Shihan's grandfather, who was her biological grandfather's elder brother, was named Gu Lei. He was the previous Gu family patriarch and had considerable influence in high society. In fact, many of the Gu family's crucial businesses were only partnered with by other families out of respect for him. The current Gu family patriarch was named Gu Chengfeng, Gu Shihan's uncle. His capabilities were completely inferior to Gu Shihan's grandfather, and the family was declining under his leadership. If this continued, the Gu family would fall out of the ranks of first-tier families within 5 years. Therefore, he came up with a plan to have a Gu family member marry into a larger family. Coincidentally, Zhu Heroine, the youngest son of the Zhu family, one of the 4 major families in Zhangjiang, had taken a liking to Gu Shihan, the most beautiful girl in the family. The Zhu family's main focus was the technology and digital industry, which had been flourishing in recent years with very promising prospects. As long as Gu Shihan married Zhu Heroine, and the Gu family could then join this industry line, the Gu family's future development would be secure. His plan was perfect. However, Gu Shihan disagreed. During this period, she even avoided returning home to escape his arrangements. However, this problem would soon be resolved by him. The incident where Kyling Cosmetics was targeted by rival companies was entirely his doing. He was waiting for Gu Shihan to come back today, begging him for money, and then he would use the opportunity to force Gu Shihan to agree to marry Zhu Heroine. Once Gu Shihan settled down in the Zhu family, he would then transfer Gu Shihan's Kyling Cosmetics to his son's control. This plan was flawless. "Uncle Gu, why isn't Gu Shihan back yet?" Zhu Heroine, sitting nearby, asked impatiently. If it weren't for the beautiful Gu Shihan today, he definitely wouldn't have come here. Wouldn't it be more enjoyable to chat about life with the biker girls at the motorcycle club? Gu Chengfeng quickly explained. "Wait a little longer. Today is the old master's 90th birthday. She will definitely come back. Tonight, you can propose to her directly. With double happiness for the Gu family, she will agree." Gu Chengfeng had already thought it through. For Gu Shihan, on one hand there was the company's pressure, and on the other, the entire family's expectations. If Gu Shihan still didn't agree then, he would let Zhu Heyorin get on the bus first, and buy the ticket later. Chapter 12. The Female President's Bodyguard times Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles square root. "Zhou Xiao, don't worry. If she doesn't agree, we'll force her to." Gu Chengfeng, fearing Zhu Heyorin's patience would run out, revealed his B plan. Zhou Heyorin's eyes lit up. As young Master Zhou, he was not short of beautiful women. The only reason he had invested so much effort in Gu Shihan was because he couldn't have her. The more Gu Shihan refused, the stronger his desire for conquest became. The thought of the Gu family willingly offering Gu Shihan, making her beg before him, was incredibly satisfying. "Thank you, Uncle Gu, for making this happen. You rest here for a bit. I'll go ask when Gu Shihan will arrive." Gu Chengfeng greeted him and walked over to the guest registration desk. He asked his second brother, who was in charge of guest invitations and reception, "Have you contacted Gu Shihan?" "No, all of us have called her, but there's no answer." Gu Chengfeng frowned. "It seems this girl has blacklisted all of us. If Gu Shihan didn't come tonight, all his plans would be like rootless duckweed. He had to get Gu Shihan here, no matter what today. Is she at the company? I'll send someone to pick her up." "I already sent someone. She didn't go to work today." Ahem. Gu Chengfeng's brows furrowed into a Chuan character. "It seems the only way is to have grandfather contact her. She wouldn't blacklist grandfather." Gu Chengfeng went to the study on the second floor. Grandfather of the Gu family was reading inside. "Dad, Gu Shihan is missing. Can you see if you can reach her on the phone?" Gu Chengfeng said, feigning anxiety. Grandfather put down the book in his hand. "You said Shihan is missing." Grandfather didn't think much of it and quickly took out his phone to call Gu Shihan. At the entrance of the villa area, Gu Shihan's phone, sitting in Chen Zhuo's Maybach, rang. "Grandfather, I'm already at the main entrance. I'll be right there." After hanging up, Grandfather's anxious heart settled, and he let out a long sigh of relief. "Shihan has already arrived. You come to me without even clarifying these things. When will you change your impatient personality? Also, Shihan's parents died early, so you uncles should treat her better. If there's anything at her company, help her out if you can. Don't always rush her to get married. Young people nowadays have their own things to do." Grandfather, having weathered a lifetime of storms, saw things very clearly. This was also the reason he was able to build up the Gu family. Unfortunately, Gu Chengfeng had not grasped the essence of grandfather's way of living and doing things. Every day, he only calculated against his own family members to gain a little profit. "Yes, your teachings are correct," Gu Chengfeng said with a fake smile. Since Gu Shihan had arrived, his plan could proceed smoothly. As for grandfather, he was already so old, who knew when he would kick the bucket. He would humor him for as long as he could. Today was grandfather of the Gu family's 90th birthday, and a great many people came. The ground parking lot in the villa area was full of cars. Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan couldn't find a parking spot from the entrance of the villa area to the front door of the house. There's an underground parking lot over there. There should still be spaces, Gu Shihan said, pointing to the right. Okay, you go in first. I'll go park. All right. Gu Shihan opened the car door and got out. Chen Zhuo drove alone to find the underground parking lot. Chen Zhuo had just turned the corner and hadn't driven far when he suddenly saw a man carrying a tattered cloth bag jump down from a wall. And at that moment, the system panel in his mind popped up. Name, Yifan. Identity, protagonist of the CEO's divine personal bodyguard, the sole successor of the Tiantian sect. Cultivation level, Earth rank level 3. Chen Zhuo subconsciously slowed down the car and sized up Yifan. The script for Descending the Mountain to Show Off, where the protagonist arrives dressed like a pariah. The author of this book is quite good at finding emotional points for the protagonist to show off. However, this trope seemed a bit old. At this moment, Yifan also felt someone watching him. He looked up and saw Chen Zhuo driving, and then his face was full of shock. The man in the car, his cultivation was actually similar to his own. On his first stop after descending the mountain, he encountered someone of such strength. Didn't his master say that people down the mountain were very weak, and those with the same cultivation as him wouldn't exceed the fingers on one hand? Could his master have been lying to him? Ding! Detected fluctuations in the male lead Yifan's mentality, rewarded with 136 emotion points. Chen Zhuo was driving when the system in his mind rang. I just drove past and can still gain emotion points. Chen Zhuo was a bit confused. Then he remembered the system's rules. Theoretically, any emotion the protagonist generated because of him could earn emotion points. Since that's the case then, Chen Zhuo floored the accelerator and drove towards the parking lot. He thought of a good way to earn emotion points. Finding the property management's phone number on the parking sign, Chen Zhuo called directly. Yes, he's raggedy, probably a thief. Ding! Detected that the male lead Yifan is somewhat angry, rewarded with 47 emotion points. After parking the car, Chen Zhuo walked towards the villa, and the system in his mind rang again. Only 47 emotion points. Is it that the male lead's emotion points aren't as high as the female lead's? Chen Zhuo was a bit puzzled. After thinking for 3 seconds, he understood. In these kinds of novels, to heighten the emotions, the protagonists are all like Ninja Turtles. The villains constantly slap them, and they can endure it indefinitely. Only when the emotions are pushed to the extreme will the protagonist finally erupt. This male lead is really troublesome. It's easier to earn emotion points from the female lead. It seems I need to speed up finding the female lead. Meanwhile, inside the Gu family villa. As soon as Gu Shihan entered, Gu Chengfeng greeted her. Shihan, you're finally here. We couldn't reach you at all. We thought you weren't coming. Gu Chengfeng's face was full of smiles. It made Gu Shihan feel nauseous. She knew her uncle's character better than anyone. Otherwise, she wouldn't have blacklisted all these people. She snorted coldly. You don't need to worry about me. You should manage yourself. Shihan, how can you speak to your uncle like that? Girls should be polite. Just then, Zhu Heroine walked over from the side. He had seen Gu Shihan the moment she entered, and was just waiting for an opportunity to interject. Gu Chengfeng also hastily introduced Zhu Heroine. Shihan. Heroine came to wish your grandfather a happy birthday, specifically because of you. Why don't you quickly thank young Master Zhou? Hehehe, Zhu Heroine, stop pretending to be a good person. I've rejected you so many times. I told you I won't marry you. Stop wasting your time on me. After Gu Shihan finished speaking, she turned to Gu Chengfeng. Where's grandfather? I came to wish grandfather a happy birthday, not to be a bargaining chip for you. Hearing Gu Shihan's words, Gu Chengfeng's face turned black. Shihan, can you stop being so willful? What's wrong with young Master Zhu that he's not good enough for you? If you marry into the Zhu family, what do you need that broken company of yours for? Their fierce argument attracted the attention of those around them. However, Gu Shihan's attitude did not soften because of the crowd. On the contrary, she said something that surprised everyone. Gu Chengfeng, I'm telling you, stop trying to scheme against me. I'm already married. Chapter 13, I am the villain. It is reasonable for me to take the protagonist's script. What? You're already married? Gu Shihan's words were like a bomb, causing a huge stir in the hall. Shihan is married? How come we didn't know? How can she be married? The family was preparing for her to marry into the Zhu family. The future of the Gu family rests entirely on her. Zhou Xiao is right over there today, and his face has turned green. I think the marriage alliance is off. This woman is truly brainless. She doesn't listen to the family at all. The family raised her for so many years for nothing. Gu Chengfeng was also furious. If Gu Shihan was truly already married, his plans, all the preparations he had made with so much effort, would all come to naught. Moreover, if Zhu Heroine got angry, the Gu family would offend the Zhu family because of it. But then he had a thought and realized something was wrong. How could a proud woman like Gu Shihan flash marry someone without him hearing any rumors? There was only one possibility. Gu Shihan was lying. To make Zhu Xiao give up. Having figured this out, Gu Chengfeng sneered. Shihan, even if you don't want to get married right now, you don't need to make up such a lie to deceive us. You've reached the age to get married. What's wrong with getting to know Zhu Xiao and understanding him better? Zhou Heroine, who had been standing beside them with a green face, relaxed a little upon hearing Gu Chengfeng's words. However, he also realized something. He couldn't wait any longer. He had to make sure the deed was done today. If someone else really got ahead of him, wouldn't that be equivalent to putting a green hat on his head? How could he continue to mix in Zhangjiang after that? He said angrily, Gu Shihan, sometimes whether you marry or not isn't something you can decide yourself. I came here today to give you face. If you don't want this face, then don't blame me. Seeing Zhu Heroine angry, Gu Chengfeng quickly tried to smooth things over. At this point, he stopped pretending. Zhou Xiao, don't listen to her. As long as she's still a Gu, I can make her a woman of the Zhu family. Gu Shihan stood at the doorway. Suddenly, she laughed. What are you laughing at? Don't believe in my ability, Gu Chengfeng said coldly. I'm laughing at your self-righteousness, at your naivety. I told you I'm already married. Aren't you all powerful? If you don't believe me, you can go investigate yourselves. Gu Shihan's tone became flat. The events that had just transpired had completely disillusioned her with the entire Gu family. After the disappointment came release. She had decided that after this birthday banquet, she would have no further dealings with the Gu family. Gu Shihan's confidence in her words made Gu Chengfeng realize something was amiss. What she said seemed to be true. However, the expression on Gu Chengfeng's face did not change. Even if this matter was true, he would treat it as false. He would immediately send people to completely erase Gu Shihan's current husband from this world, and then eliminate the marriage record, minimizing Zhu Heroine's reservations. I will naturally investigate, but not now. Today is grandfather's 90th birthday. We'll discuss unpleasant matters tomorrow. Gu Chengfeng reverted to his initial good guy demeanor. This was his final plan, to trick Gu Shihan into the back bedroom where he had arranged people. As soon as Gu Shihan pushed open the door, an endless abyss awaited her. HMPH, where is grandfather? Gu Shihan clearly hadn't expected her uncle to be so shameless. She just wanted to say a few words to her grandfather before leaving. He's in the last bedroom. The old man has been waiting for you for a long time. Gu Chengfeng's tone was very calm, so as not to alert Gu Shihan. He then quickly added a warning. Don't tell the old man about this, or don't blame me for targeting your Kia Ling Cosmetics company. Gu Shihan ignored him and walked directly into the villa. Just then, a handsome man in a blue suit appeared at the doorway. It was none other than the main villain, Chen Zhuo. He had been walking towards this place while studying the plot. He already had a general understanding of the Gu family's relationships and Gu Chengfeng's plan. According to the original plot, the son of destiny, Yi Fan, would appear at this moment to save Gu Shihan from her predicament, greatly increasing Gu Shihan's good impression of Yi Fan. In this battle, Gu Chengfeng and Zhu Heroine would both be eliminated. Then the Zhu family would be furious and search the entire city for Yi Fan. After that, it would be the classic nested plot. It's just that the son of destiny, Yi Fan, was currently at the community security office registering his identity information. The person standing at the doorway had therefore become Chen Zhuo. As the main villain, Chen Zhuo had taken on the protagonist's script at this moment. Chen Zhuo stood at the doorway, looking at the smug Gu Chengfeng. He sneered. From the perspective of a main villain, Gu Chengfeng's actions, completely disregarding his family's welfare for his own benefit, were not inappropriate. But using such methods on his woman, that was asking for death. At this moment, Gu Heroine, Gu Shihan's second uncle, who was in charge of guest reception at the entrance, noticed Chen Zhuo appearing at the doorway. Chen Zhuo is the chairman of Shengtang Group. Shengtang Group's main business used to be sand and gravel quarries, but now its main business is real estate and infrastructure. Moreover, this business had expanded beyond Zhangjiang and was now nationwide. Chen Zhuo's power in both legitimate and illegitimate circles was evident. What Zhangjiang's four great families? In front of Chen Zhuo, they were like children playing house. However, among all the families, big and small in Zhangjiang, not a single person dared to underestimate Chen Zhuo. The moment Gu Heroine clearly saw Chen Zhuo's appearance, he nearly fell to the ground, having lost his balance. Chairman Chen, Chairman Chen. After steadying himself, he quickly stood up and respectfully approached Chen Zhuo. Ding, detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, has grasped a lifesaver, rewarding 245 emotion points. Chen Zhuo glanced at him and said very coolly, "You know me." Gu Heroine quickly smiled apologetically. "You're joking. Who in Zhangjiang doesn't know you, Chairman Chen? One could say that if Zhangjiang didn't have Chairman Chen, its economic standing nationwide would drop several places." At this moment, almost everyone in the hall looked over. Is this really Chairman Chen of Shengtang Group? Shengtang Group, that's an entity that can create a new great family just by taking out 2 projects. I thought Zhu Xiao coming today was the biggest VIP, but I never expected the chairman of Shengtang Group to come. Wait, the only connection between our Gu family and Shengtang Group is that we outsourced a few engineering projects. Why would Chairman Chen come to celebrate the old man's birthday? Could it be that someone in our family has connected with Chairman Chen? Don't guess. Who in our family has that ability? It must be Zhu Xiao who invited him. He can actually invite Chairman Chen. If Gu Shihan marries him, how can our Gu family not prosper? Chen Zhuo nodded slightly, still maintaining his cool demeanor. In reality, his heart was already blooming with joy. The protagonists in the novels he used to read. One by one, they would not fight back until they were almost angered to death, giving him high blood pressure. Now it seems that being a protagonist means enduring grievances, while being a villain means just showing off. Being a main villain is truly awesome. However, why do the conversations of these surrounding supporting characters have such a strong short drama flavor? Chapter 14, You Are So Bad. I like it so much. It was so strong, it went straight to his head. But it was also incredibly satisfying. No wonder he couldn't stop watching the short dramas once he started. Chairman Chen, I never expected you to come to the old master's birthday banquet. Gu Chengfeng, who had just been calculating how to maximize the profit from giving Gu Shihan away, heard that Chen Zhuo had arrived and excitedly walked over. Zhou Heroine was immediately forgotten. While Zhu Heroine's Zhu family was considered a top family in Zhangjiang, they were nothing in front of Chen Zhuo. Ding detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, is full of anticipation, rewarding 1557 emotion points. The voice in the system made Chen Zhuo pause. He hadn't expected the rewarded emotion points to be so high, directly breaking 1,000, which was 10 times the usual reward. Of course, I wouldn't come for your old master's birthday. Besides, I'm here because of someone else, Chen Zhuo didn't explicitly state. This was such a good opportunity. He wanted Gu Shihan to generate even more emotion points. Moreover, Gu Shihan had also said not to expose their relationship outside. At this moment, Zhu Heroine, who was standing nearby, also disregarded Gu Shihan, who was almost in his grasp, and quickly walked over. Just last month, Sheng Tang Group had held talks with his Zhu family to enter the new energy vehicle industry. Sheng Tang Group wanted to entrust the vehicle-mounted system business to the Zhu family. At that time, Chen Zhuo had invited several representatives from the Zhu family, and Zhu Heroine was among them. After 3 rounds of drinks, Chen Zhuo had even praised him a few times, saying he would have some things to discuss with him in the future. According to the original plot, Chen Zhuo's intention to find Zhu Heroine was for a girl from his motorcycle club. That girl was also one of the female leads, having just graduated from high school this summer and been accepted into Zhangjiang University. However, her family was quite poor, and she was working a summer job at Zhu Heroine's motorcycle club. It wouldn't be long before Zhu Heroine would make a move on the girl, but his plan would be immediately intercepted by the son of fortune, Yi Fan. This would then tie into Chen Zhuo's storyline. Therefore, Zhu Heroine naturally assumed that Chen Zhuo had come to find him. Uncle Chen, last time you said you needed to see me about something. You could have just told me to come over. Why did you come all the way here? The arrogant demeanor on Zhu Heroine's face had long vanished, replaced by a fawning expression. Chen Zhuo looked at him with the eyes of someone looking at an idiot. It had to be said that to be a minor villain in such a novel, one's intelligence was somewhat low. Who said I came to find you? Zhou Heroine froze in place, awkwardly scratching his foot. This situation was not what he had imagined. Chen Zhuo continued coldly. Someone asked me to deliver a birthday gift to your Gu family's old master. As for who it is, you are not worthy of knowing. Ding detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan, is extremely excited, rewarding 423 emotion points. Chen Zhuo glanced in Gu Shihan's direction. He hadn't expected this woman to enjoy this feeling. If he acted cool a few more times, wouldn't he rake in the emotion points? As a villain, Chen Zhuo's act was perfectly executed. Gu Chengfeng smiled obsequiously, saying in a humble tone, Yes, we were presumptuous. For Chairman Chen to come, our Gu family is truly honored. Chen Zhuo ignored him, walked over to Gu Shihan, and said with a smile, Hello, Miss Gu. I've heard about your Kia Ling Cosmetics company for a long time. For a delicate woman like you to build the company to this scale, your ability is quite impressive. Gu Shihan hadn't expected Chen Zhuo to approach her and talk to her like this. She was stunned for 3 seconds, but once she recovered, she understood Chen Zhuo's intention. A barely suppressed smile peered at the corner of her mouth. The man she had found was too mischievous. A legendary big shot, over 40, who had connections in both the legal and illegal worlds, actually had so many mischievous thoughts. However, I like it so much. Ding detected that the female lead, Gu Shihan's, liking for you has exceeded its highest value, rewarding one special sweet lottery draw. After suppressing the uncontrollable smile at the corner of her mouth, Gu Shihan also began to respond to Chen Zhuo in a serious manner. You flatter me. I was just lucky. My abilities in front of Chairman Chen can't even withstand 2 moves. Chen Zhuo let out an internal, Oh ho, not expecting this woman to be flirting with him. However, this also indicated that Gu Shihan's heart was completely open to him. He could play something more exciting with her in the future. Hey, you can't say that. You're still so young and young people improve quickly. With more practice, you'll surpass me one day. Chen Zhuo's flirting skills were also not to be underestimated. He perfectly responded to Gu Shihan's words. This made Gu Shihan's cheeks flush slightly. Gu Chengfeng and Zhu Heroine, along with the others in the hall who were standing behind them. Watching the two converse so happily, they were all dumbfounded. What was going on? It was understandable that Chen Zhuo wasn't here for Zhu Heroine, but what did it mean for him to be talking to Gu Shihan? Gu Chengfeng, being an old fox, suddenly had a guess. Could it be that Chen Zhuo had taken a liking to Gu Shihan? Gu Shihan's temperament was indeed unique in Zhangjiang's upper-class society, and her beauty was also among the top 3. Many young masters had wanted to pursue Gu Shihan. It was just that among them, Zhu Heroine held the highest status, and once Zhu Heroine made a move, the others fell silent. It was reasonable for Chen Zhuo to take a liking to Gu Shihan. Thinking of this, Gu Chengfeng was ecstatic. If Gu Shihan marrying Zhu Heroine could revive the Gu family, then marrying Chen Zhuo would stabilize the Gu family for 18 generations to come. Gu Chengfeng was happy, but Zhu Heroine next to him looked as if he had eaten a pile of shit. The woman he had painstakingly tried to get seemed to be getting snatched away. The crucial thing was that the person snatching her was someone he absolutely couldn't afford to offend. In the past, when he set his sights on a woman, others would obediently deliver her to him. Today, the tables had turned. He was depressed, extremely depressed. After Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan pretended to meet for the first time and conversed for a few sentences, Chen Zhuo steered the conversation towards Gu Shihan's company. Knowing the plot, he naturally also knew that the crisis of internal and external collusion at Kia Ling Cosmetics Company was orchestrated by Gu Chengfeng. By the way, I heard that there's a company now that has launched a product similar to your company's, and your two companies are currently engaged in a price war. When Chen Zhuo said this, Gu Chengfeng's heart jumped into his throat. No, how could a busy big shot like Chen Zhuo care about such a trivial matter? Gu Shihan also became interested when she heard Chen Zhuo start talking about this. Chen Zhuo had only said last time that there were internal problems with the company, but he hadn't said who it was. She was very curious. Alas, don't laugh at me, but our company's formula was leaked. I'm still investigating who did it. Who did it? A mysterious smile appeared at the corner of Chen Zhuo's mouth, and then he casually sat down on the nearby sofa. Walking this far, my legs are tired, he complained, then continued the conversation. If you want to investigate, I can help you. Gu Shihan looked at Chen Zhuo's tired appearance, feeling a little distressed. This big shot, who had been through so much, had actually spent several days with her for her matters. Today, he even personally came to the Gu family. Thinking of this, she sat next to Chen Zhuo and began to massage his legs with both hands. If we find out, I will definitely use every means to repay you. The speed of their development left the surrounding people dumbfounded. No, was this the big shot Chen Zhuo, who was so influential in both legal and illegal circles? Was this the aloof female, CEO Gu Shihan, who never gave out her contact information? Just as everyone was enjoying the gossip, another man appeared at the entrance of the villa. He was wearing ragged clothes and carrying a tattered bag. Where is your Gu family's patriarch? I am Yi Fan. Tell him to come out and see me. Yi Fan was currently filled with displeasure. His master had told him that he was to dominate the city after descending the mountain, yet he had been questioned by a few security guards for a long time. If his master hadn't warned him that a massacre would affect his Dao heart, he would have long since taken action and eliminated those annoying security guards. Chapter 15. Pretending to be too tough, the son of luck got scared. Yi Fan. the head of the Gu family. The people in the room looked at the shabbily dressed man at the door as if he were an idiot. Their eyes were full of disdain. Just then, Gu Chengfeng came forward to greet him. When the old family head passed on his position to him, he had given instructions. If many years later, a man named Yi Fan came looking for the Gu family head, he must be received with the highest possible courtesy. This person could resolve the Gu family's calamity of fortune. When Gu Shihan was born, Gu Chengfeng was already a core member of the Gu family and had a general understanding of what had happened back then. At that time, members of the Gu family were dying in accidents one after another, and the old family head spent a fortune inviting grandmasters from all over the country to perform rituals. After those famous spellcasters visited the Gu family, they all shook their heads and left. They only left the Gu family with the same message. Going against the heavens, we are powerless. And just then, a white-bearded old man appeared. That night, Zhangjiang City was deluged by heavy rain, with lightning flashing and thunder rumbling in the sky. The white-bearded old man, holding a long sword, withstood 5 bolts of heavenly lightning at the Gu family. Only then did he stop the trend of continuous accidental deaths in the Gu family. As the white-bearded old man left, he instructed, "I have only temporarily suppressed this fortune for you. To resolve it completely, a person with great fortune needs to marry into the Gu family. This person's name is Yi Fan. He will soon become my disciple, but he is still too young. When the time is right, I will send him to the Gu family." Hearing that the newcomer called himself Yi Fan, Gu Chengfeng dared not neglect him. He asked tentatively, "Mr. Yi, are you here to resolve the Gu family's calamity from back then?" Yi Fan looked up at the man, whose face was wreathed in smiles, and nodded coldly. "My master did, indeed, instruct me on this matter." Quick, Grandmaster Yi, please come in." Amidst everyone's astonished gazes, Gu Chengfeng led Yi Fan through the door. "Grandmaster Yi, your presence truly brings honor to our humble Gu family." As an old fox in the business world, Gu Chengfeng's flattery never stopped. He had witnessed the scene of Yi Fan's master standing in the rain and enduring 5 bolts of heavenly lightning, and it had quite an impact on his mind back then. As the disciple of that grandmaster, Yi Fan's strength would certainly not be weak. He probably could eliminate anyone present in the blink of an eye if he wished. Yi Fan ignored Gu Chengfeng's attempts to curry favor. His gaze swept across the hall. He was looking for the woman his master had told him to find. Gu Shihan's beauty and temperament were already outstanding. In less than 3 seconds, Yi Fan saw Gu Shihan sitting on the sofa, massaging Chen Zhuo's legs. Yi Fan watched this fairy-like woman massaging another man's legs, and a surge of anger erupted in his heart. In his heart, Gu Shihan was his woman. From the moment his master handed him the photo, Gu Shihan had become his exclusive possession. And now, Gu Shihan was actually massaging another man. The anger in his heart turned his eyes red, and he looked with unforgiving eyes at the man next to Gu Shihan. Then, 4 words automatically appeared in his mind. Earth rank level 3. The man next to Gu Shihan was the Earth rank level 3 man he had just seen. Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan's towering rage, rewarding 345 emotion points. Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan retracting a towering rage, rewarding 475 emotion points. Chen Zhuo's cultivation level instantly calmed Yi Fan. In the cultivation world, an Earth rank cultivation could only reduce one's outward display of cultivation. Only by reaching the heaven rank could one amplify their outward cultivation, making enemies wary. In other words, the actual cultivation of the man before him was at least Earth rank level 3. If he confronted him directly, Yi Fan only had a 40% chance of winning. Endure. Chen Zhuo also noticed Yi Fan's gaze at this moment. He curiously observed this son of fortune. The protagonist of this expert descends from the mountain. Script isn't all that, only daring to bully the weak and starting to endure at the slightest risk. Just then, Gu Chengfeng saw the two men's eyes meet. He quickly and enthusiastically introduced them. Grandmaster Yi, this is Chen Zhuo, Chairman Chen, the most outstanding talent in our Zhangjiang city. Chairman Chen, this is Yi Fan, Grandmaster Yi. His strength is formidable. When our Gu family faced a crisis back then, it was his master who resisted the heavenly lightning, allowing the Gu family to survive. Yi Fan remained silent, looking at Chen Zhuo coldly. Chen Zhuo, however, remained relaxed and calm. He had just reviewed the relevant plot. This little girl, Shihan, was actually a fated body, a rarity in the cultivation world, appearing perhaps once every 1,000 years. Cultivators who combined with a fated body would receive the blessing of fate, and their cultivation speed would double. In other words, it was like buying a triple experience card in a game. And the most heaven-defying aspect was the child born from combining with a fated body. This child would be a son of destiny. From ancient times to the present, every son of destiny has been a heaven-defying existence in history. They would receive 100% favor from destiny from birth, and everything they did would go smoothly. Of course, these effects only applied to the first person to combine with a fated body. That is to say, Chen Zhuo had already received the blessing of destiny. The son of fortune, Yi Fan, had been successfully intercepted by him. Seeing this, Chen Zhuo's gaze towards Yi Fan became curious. He wondered how many emotion points Yi Fan would generate when he found out about this. After some thought, Chen Zhuo decided not to reveal this matter now. Some things, if Yi Fan discovered them little by little, and then suddenly realized the truth, he could harvest more emotion points. Moreover, Chen Zhuo also discovered a very important thing. Yi Fan's master's talk of a calamity of fortune was completely a deception of the Gu family. The people who died in the Gu family back then were also secretly killed by Yi Fan's master, and the heavenly lightning was also a self-directed act. And all of this was to allow Yi Fan to appear today as the Gu family's great benefactor. Then, smoothly turn Gu Shihan into Yi Fan's woman, making the son of destiny his grand disciple. What a scheme, truly a great scheme. As expected of the protagonist's master, this ploy made Chen Zhuo, a great villain, feel ashamed of his own inferiority. However, now that he was here, it was naturally impossible for this matter to develop according to Yi Fan's master's plan. Chen Zhuo's eyes narrowed, and he said coldly, "Yi Fan, your Tianqian sect is truly cunning. Your master, that old geezer, actually set his sights on Gu Shihan. It seems he's looking for death. As a great villain, one must act tough, and act really tough." Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan's extreme confusion, rewarding 348 emotion points. Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan feeling slightly afraid, rewarding 247 emotion points. At this moment, Yi Fan's eyes already showed a hint of fear. This man actually knew he was from the Tianqian sect. And he even called his master an old geezer. One must know that his master was a heaven-rank cultivator. To dare to call his master that, this man was at least heaven rank. Even more terrifying was that, judging by the tone of his words, he seemed to know the story behind Gu Shihan. One must know, this was their master and disciple's absolute secret. What was the background of this man named Chen Zhuo? Yi Fan's mind was racing with thoughts. After much deliberation, he decided to retreat to advance. Endure. He would make his move after figuring out Chen Zhuo's background. Chapter 16 shows affection with the heroine, and the son of luck is so angry that he explodes. "Senior, I apologize for my presumptuousness, but from which sect do you hail? And what connection do you have with my master?" Yi Fan probed. "Your seniority is not enough to know," Chen Zhuo said indifferently. Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan feeling apprehensive, rewarding 341 emotion points. Ding! Detected you put on a grand show in front of the protagonist. Villain luck increased by 1,000 points. Note, the higher your villain luck, the higher your probability of encountering the protagonist. Yifan scrutinized Chen Zhuo, who sat calmly on the sofa. He wondered, had he encountered an extremely rare Heaven-tier Grandmaster on his very first day down the mountain? Although Heaven-tier and Earth-tier were adjacent ranks, the difference in their strength was greater than that between Earth-tier and ordinary people. Yifan didn't dare to probe directly. He decided to investigate secretly after leaving, and if that failed, he would return to ask his master. Just as he was contemplating what to do, Heroine, standing beside him, was already extremely displeased. As the young master of the Zhu family, any woman he desired was within his grasp. Gu Shihan, as a challenging woman, was also someone he was determined to have. And today, just as he was about to take the final step, Chen Zhuo appeared and snatched her away. This much was acceptable. A grandmaster of Chen Zhuo's caliber, let alone taking Gu Shihan from him. Even if he took his mother from his father, no one in their circle would say anything. It wouldn't even be embarrassing if word got out. However, now came this, Grandmaster Yifan in tattered clothes. Young and resembling a charlatan, his demeanor was a far cry from his own. Yet Gu Chengfeng had greeted such a man with such warmth, so much so that he, the most important guest, was ignored. Moreover, from Chen Zhuo's words, it seemed this person was also here for Gu Shihan. Damn it, the eldest young master of the Zhu family, a prominent figure in Zhangjiang, are you all trying to step on me? Heroine was furious. Yifan was a distinguished guest of the Gu family, not his. Among everyone present, the only person he dared not offend was Chairman Chen. Now that Yifan and Chairman Chen were at odds, Heroine had no qualms about showing off. He walked directly opposite Yifan and said unhappily, "What are you putting on airs for, you pretentious kid? From which sect? Is that how you speak to our Chairman Chen? I'm telling you, get out before I lose my temper." Chen Zhuo watched the suddenly appearing Heroine with interest. He had to admit, this kid was quite a talent among the minor villains. He even brought his own name into the act of slapping Yifan's face. He was trying to be his lackey. Heroine was seething with anger, and Yifan was no less so. When he descended the mountain, his master had painted such a grand picture, a life of enjoyment dominating the city. And a beautiful wife. He was already prepared to reach the pinnacle of life. Yet, before he could even take a bite of the pie, his wife ran off with someone else. Now, an ordinary person with no cultivation dared to challenge him. Courting death. Before Heroine could vent his anger on Yifan struck first. Against an ordinary person like Heroine, Yifan didn't even need to use a trace of true qi. With a horizontal kick, there was a thud. Heroine was directly kicked away, falling to the ground. Heroine felt as if he had been hit by a train, and then a sharp pain shot through his groin. Ah, tilde. A heart-wrenching scream echoed through the entire hall. Everyone present was stunned. They hadn't expected this shabbily dressed man to attack so readily. And his martial prowess was terrifyingly high. Gu Shihan was also startled. She had never witnessed such a scene. Frightened, she hid in Chen Zhuo's arms. Chen Zhuo felt the softness in his arms and was delighted. A beauty in his arms, and an immersive short drama to watch. Comfortable. Gu Chengfeng, standing beside Yifan, was drenched in cold sweat. The young master of the Zhu family had been beaten like this in their Gu family by their distinguished guest. When Heroine returned, the Zhu family would likely declare war on the Gu family. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. The Gu family's current strength could not withstand a single blow from the Zhu family. But then he thought, with Yifan's strength, what was the Zhu family? Just small fries. Heroine lay on the ground, having lost consciousness from the pain. Yi Fan wasn't afraid of any counterattacks from him. His gaze had been fixed on Chen Zhuo from the moment he made his move. As long as Chen Zhuo didn't act, there was no danger. Now, Chen Zhuo indeed hadn't acted. But why had Gu Shihan snuggled into his arms? Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan consumed by jealousy, rewarding 245 emotion points. Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan filled with rage, rewarding 312 emotion points. Yi Fan's teeth ground audibly. He swore that once he ascertained Chen Zhuo's strength, he would shatter him to pieces. Chen Zhuo heard the system prompt and was somewhat disappointed. Why so few emotion points? This isn't enough. He reached out and placed his hand on Gu Shihan's delicate shoulder, pulling her even closer. Then he whispered to Gu Shihan, "Don't be afraid, when madmen fight, I'll protect you." Tilde, Gu Shihan, with a shy expression, responded softly and obediently. The two of them, in perfect harmony, displayed a level of affection higher than any idle romance drama. Sweet enough to rot teeth. However, everyone was intently watching the PK between Yi Fan and Zhu Heroine, so no one noticed them. And Chen Zhuo deliberately spoke very softly. Ordinary people standing 2 meters away wouldn't have heard him. But Yi Fan was no ordinary person. Chen Zhuo's words entered his ears without missing a single one. My goodness. Yi Fan was about to explode at this moment. Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan enraged to the point of explosion, rewarding 1 special lottery draw. Hearing the system's prompt, Chen Zhuo was overjoyed. Sure enough, this trick worked. It seems he'll have to find more opportunities to fleece Yi Fan in the future. Grandmaster Yi, please don't be impulsive. Whoever you are displeased with, our Gu family will bear the responsibility for you. Just then, Gu Chengfeng spoke. He had just weighed the options in his mind. Offending the Zhu family was nothing. After all, with Yi Fan's strength, the small Zhu family was not worth mentioning. Yi Fan's face was expressionless, and he said coldly, "Is that so? Your Gu family. When I descended the mountain, the task my master gave me was to marry Gu Shihan of your Gu family. But is this how your Gu family fulfills my master's request from back then?" As he spoke, he glanced in Chen Zhuo's direction. Gu Chengfeng followed Yi Fan's gaze. Gu Shihan was nestled sweetly in Chen Zhuo's arms. His head instantly swelled. He didn't care about the Zhu family, but if the opponent became Chen Zhuo, that was a different story. He dared not guarantee that Yi Fan could easily defeat the forces under Chen Zhuo. He walked to Yi Fan's side with a troubled expression and whispered, "Grandmaster Yi, his strength is very powerful, and he also has a group of cultivators under him. I'm afraid." Chapter 17. 30 years in the East, 30 years in the West. Yi Fan's eyes narrowed. This Earth rank level 3 man actually had a group of cultivators under him. In the cultivation world, anyone pursuing an increase in cultivation would not take disciples at the Earth rank. One must know that the human rank and Earth rank could be achieved through cultivation techniques, provided one had talent. However, upon reaching the Heaven rank, there was a qualitative change, testing a person's inner self. The Earth rank was a cultivator's period of inner transformation, which was also the reason Yi Fan descended the mountain for experience. During such an important period, normal cultivators would not waste time taking disciples. Then, only one possibility remained. This man's rank was not just Earth rank level 3. He was at least a half-step Heaven rank. How is this possible? Was his luck really that bad? Ding! Detected protagonist Yi Fan feeling apprehension, rewarding 218 points of emotional value. Gu Chengfeng saw that Yi Fan was ignoring him and called out a few more times. "Grandmaster Yi, Grandmaster Yi, Grandmaster Yi." It wasn't Yi Fan who answered him, but Chen Zhuo. "Stop calling. I heard everything you just said. What do you want to see my group of cultivators?" Chen Zhuo's tone was very cold, brimming with villainous aura. Gu Chengfeng immediately panicked. His voice was so small, how did Chen Zhuo hear it? Now it was over, completely over. He quickly explained. Chairman Chen, don't misunderstand. I just wanted Grandmaster Yi to stop attacking. Chen Zhuo smiled and said, I know your good intentions. Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. After all, you are Shihan's grandfather. Hearing Chen Zhuo's words, Gu Chengfeng breathed a sigh of relief, his face beaming with smiles, and he said fawningly, Yes, yes, yes. You are a magnanimous person and certainly wouldn't bother with a small fry like me. Yi Fan stood by and snorted coldly. Chen Zhuo, good, very good. Since you know my master, then you must know his strength. I advise you to stay away from Gu Shihan now. Some things are not meant for just anyone to obtain. 30 years to the east of the river, 30 years to the west of the river. Do not bully a young man for being poor. As Yi Fan spoke, he reached into his pocket and pinched a talisman. This was an escape talisman, capable of temporarily shielding perception below the heaven rank. It also had some effect on early heaven rank cultivators. He had already prepared as he spoke these words. As soon as Chen Zhuo showed any sign of attacking, he would use this talisman to escape. At worst, he would go up the mountain and bring his master down. However, Chen Zhuo did not make a move. Chen Zhuo sat on the sofa, gently pinching Gu Shihan's cheek, and said seriously, Shihan is my woman. She is not some object. With your attitude, I feel you only see her as some kind of tool. Ding! Detected protagonist Gu Shihan feeling sweet, rewarding one hidden level lottery draw. Ding! Detected protagonist Gu Shihan feeling disgust towards Yi Fan, gaining a special reward. Villainous aura plus 99. Hearing the system's prompt, Chen Zhuo's heart rejoiced. Indeed, sincerity was the ultimate killing move. Now that Gu Shihan felt disgusted with Yi Fan, he could smoothly provoke Yi Fan later and rake in a lot of gold. Watching the increasingly affectionate couple, Yi Fan was furious. However, he didn't dare to attack Chen Zhuo. Endure, he must endure. He would plan for the long term later. HMPH, you hypocrite, stop pretending. We'll see about this. Yi Fan flicked his sleeve and turned to walk out of the Gu family's main gate. He knew that if he didn't attack Chen Zhuo and continued to stay there, it would only make Gu Shihan despise him even more. He needed to fully understand this competitor, who appeared to be Earth rank level 3. Once he found the right opportunity, he would definitely make Chen Zhuo die without a burial place. After Yi Fan left, everyone present looked at Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan. The Gu family members looked at Gu Shihan with shining eyes. Oh, Shihan, no wonder you never agreed to the partners we introduced. It turns out you found such a high-quality boyfriend. I always said our Shihan was promising. Her taste is exceptionally good. Now that I think about it, we were superficial. Those people we found couldn't even compare to a single hair on Chairman Chen. The surrounding Gu family members all gathered around at once. As long as Gu Shihan could be with Chen Zhuo, why would the Gu family not prosper? Becoming the head of the 4 great families of Zhangjiang was just around the corner. The prosperity of the Gu family meant they would also get a share of the pie. Some of them were already calculating how to divide Chen Zhuo's group's new real estate projects. Ding! Detected protagonist Gu Shihan feeling joyful, rewarding 149 points of emotional value. Gu Shihan looked at these relatives, whose faces changed faster than flipping a book, feeling exceptionally pleased. She remembered how these same people had been aggressive, trying to marry her off as a tool for alliance. Now the tables had turned. She proudly looked at the man holding her. He had brought all of this to her. This man seemed to have completely changed her life. The gloomy 20-odd years of her past completely dissipated at this moment. As for Gu Chengfeng, now that Yi Fan was gone, he no longer had to be caught in the middle. He quickly started fawning over Chen Zhuo. Chairman Chen, our Gu family fully supports your and Shihan's relationship. Chen Zhuo said teasingly. Is that so? Then what about your Gu family's savior, Yi Fan? He came specifically for Shihan this time. Gu Chengfeng was stunned. Chen Zhuo's question directly hit on his biggest concern. However, his greatest characteristic was knowing how to speak to people and how to speak to ghosts. Anyway, Yi Fan wasn't here now. Chairman Chen, I called Grandmaster Yi because he could solve our Gu family's dangers. But now that you are here, what problem can't you solve? That Yi Fan is nothing in front of you. It must be said, although these words were clearly flattery. But being flattered really felt good. No wonder so many people pursued power and status. All right, Yi Fan's strength is not low. Be careful not to incur his hatred, or I won't be able to save you then. Chen Zhuo deliberately gave a thoughtful reminder. This Gu Chengfeng, the moment he extended his black hand towards Gu Shihan, was sentenced to death. But it wouldn't look good if some things were attributed to him. Attributing them to Yi Fan would be quite good. Gu Chengfeng fearfully glanced back, didn't see Yi Fan's figure, and then breathed a sigh of relief. You must be joking. Is there anyone in this world you can't save? Chen Zhuo waved his hand. All right, no more nonsense. Today, Shihan is here to celebrate her grandfather's birthday, not to listen to your flattery. Saying that, Chen Zhuo released Gu Shihan from his embrace, stood up, and pointed at Zhu Heroine lying on the ground. Zhou Heroine had already passed out from the pain. Not even a whimper could be heard. Are you just going to leave young Master Zhu lying here? If he dies, it has nothing to do with me. Chen Zhuo's reminder made the Gu family members remember young Master Zhou, who had been kicked to the ground by Yi Fan. Quick, send young Master Zhu to the hospital. Gu Chengfeng led the people in a flurry of activity. Gu Shihan didn't want to see this group of people, so she led Chen Zhuo towards the music hall on the first floor. That's a small music hall. When I was little, I was forced to learn piano there every day. It was terrible. Gu Shihan introduced her childhood experiences as they walked. Just then, a scolding voice came from the study next door. Look at you, what kind of clothes do you wear every day? Look at your cousin, she found Chairman Chen as her husband. Why can't you be more ambitious? It's not that Mom and Dad don't respect your preferences, but you're already a junior in college. Can't you dress more maturely and stop playing your, what's that play you do? Look at those people in your circle. Are any of them doing anything serious? Chapter 18. Isn't the quality of this year's heroines so high? Enough. I feel very happy with my current life, and I can earn some money myself. Why do you always want to tie me to the Gu family? After the reprimand, a wronged, tearful female voice came from the study again. You're already 21. Can you stop acting like a child? You're happy now, but what about later? Mom and Dad are doing this for your own good. You can only see the temporary happiness now, not the future. Listen to Mom and Dad, would we harm you? All right, we originally planned to introduce that young master from the Wang family to Gu Shihan, but now that she's hooked up with Chairman Chen, we'll introduce him to you instead. After the banquet, I'll immediately arrange a meeting for you. Our family doesn't have much power in the Gu family, so we can't compete with others for resources, but you still have an advantage in age, and you're not bad looking. You must seize this opportunity. If you succeed, you won't have to worry for the rest of your life. Gu Shihan, outside the door, was drawn by the voices from the study and stopped. Once upon a time, she was also forced into blind dates like this. That feeling of helplessness, being forced by her family, even now that she is completely free, would still come over her in an instant. Chen Zhuo also stopped at this moment. He wasn't interested in what was happening in the study. Rather, the system in his mind had sounded. Ding! Detected the female lead Gu Mengmeng from campus Divine Doctor. The female lead Gu Mengmeng. Could it be that female university student in the study? Chen Zhuo opened the system reward, the female lead's location map. Sure enough, the dot marked Gu Mengmeng was in the study next door. That's not right. Chen Zhuo remembered that Gu Shihan was the female lead in the female CEO's personal bodyguard. And this Gu Mingmeng actually changed to another book, Campus Divine Doctor. He recalled the system's prompt when he first transmigrated. He had transmigrated into some urban comprehensive plane, which meant that this world contained more than just one book's plot. This setting is good. It makes being a big villain interesting. After figuring this out, Chen Zhuo felt delighted. With the settings of these kinds of novels, which book doesn't have a bunch of female leads? Wouldn't his emotional value system take off then? HMPH, aren't you just trying to use me for profit? I Gu Meng am an adult now, and I won't obey your arrangements. If you want a blind date, go on one yourselves. You, if you have the guts, don't ask the family for a single cent. I won't then. Then the study door opened, and a girl wearing a white shirt and a light blue JK skirt walked out, wiping tears from her cheeks. Gu Meng's grievances of over 10 years reached their peak at this moment. Chen Zhuo assessed this new female lead. Simple air bangs, a very natural heart-shaped face, and very light makeup, which instead made her beauty even more striking. A youthful feeling washed over him. Online, they say that female university students in their 3rd and 4th years have a completely different aura from those in their 1st and 2nd years. Gu Meng had the feeling of a first-year student. The white shirt of her JK uniform perfectly highlighted her figure. Paired with the uniform skirt and small leather shoes, she looked like she walked right out of a youth campus manga. Chen Zhuo couldn't help but exclaim, the quality of this generation's female leads is really high. Meng, don't go yet. Gu Shihan grabbed Gu Meng's wrist. Gu Meng wiped away the tears from the corners of her eyes. After looking up and seeing that the person holding her was Sister Shihan, the grievances in her heart found an outlet. Sister Shihan, Gu Meng had too much to say and didn't know where to start for a moment. Gu Shihan held her hand and said softly, don't worry, I have a place to stay. Why don't you just move in with me? It was precisely because she had been through the rain before that Gu Shihan knew what Gu Meng needed most at this moment. Gu Meng hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Okay, when I earn money, I'll definitely pay you back the rent. Growing up in such a family environment, Gu Meng was heartbreakingly sensible. Gu Shihan saw her past self in Gu Meng. She didn't refuse Gu Meng, but nodded in agreement. Okay, I'll keep a record. Consider it something you owe your sister. If you ever need money, tell me, and I'll lend it to you. Gu Meng shook her head like a rattled drum. No. Chen Zhuo listened to their conversation from the side, his heart filled with joy. He was just wondering how to get close to Gu Meng, and he didn't expect Gu Shihan to provide such a divine assist. As expected of his woman, Gu Shihan was sensible. However, the expression on his face didn't change much, and he didn't step in to talk. Just then, the study door was pushed open again. A woman in her 40s, dressed lavishly and with heavy makeup, walked out. Gu Meng, you've defied the heavens. The woman's tone was full of anger. Judging by her appearance, if Gu Meng were caught, she probably wouldn't be able to leave the house for 3 months. However, when she clearly saw that the two people standing next to Gu Meng were Gu Shihan and Chen Zhuo, the expression on her face instantly changed. It became full of smiles. Shihan, Chairman Chen, please excuse us. This child of mine is accustomed to being disobedient. I'm just disciplining her. Gu Shihan snorted coldly. I heard everything you said. Meng is an adult now. Some things don't need your interference, and her lifelong affairs certainly don't need your interference. Gu Meng's mother's smile didn't diminish at all. If it were before, she would have already started scolding Gu Shihan to mind her own business. But now, Gu Shihan was with Chen Zhuo, and Chen Zhuo was right there. Even with 10,000 guts, she wouldn't dare to scold Gu Shihan. However, she still dared to retort. Oh, Shihan, there are some things you don't understand. We're doing this for her own good. Look at you, now that you're with Chairman Chen, you won't have to worry for the rest of your life. But what about Meng Meng? She's having fun now, but what will happen when she's old? As parents, would we harm our own child? She's young now, and many prominent families would consider her. If a few more years pass, no one will want her. Under this classic moral blackmail and combined suppression. Gu Shihan was also a bit speechless, not knowing how to retort. Seeing Gu Shihan not speaking, Gu Mengmeng's mother reached out to pull her back. Gu Mengmeng subconsciously took 2 steps back, bumping right into Chen Zhuo. Gu Mengmeng quickly apologized. I'm sorry. Chen Zhuo looked at Gu Mengmeng's cautious demeanor, feeling a little pained. Even if Gu Mengmeng wasn't the female lead, he would have been moved. He moved a step to the right and whispered, "It's nothing." Then he looked up at Gu Mengmeng's mother. As the saying goes, if you have no morals, you're not afraid of being blackmailed. As a big villain, he really wanted to slap that old hag. However, after thinking about it, Chen Zhuo still held back. He still wanted to accumulate more emotional value from Gu Mengmeng, so he had to take it step by step. He exuded the aura of a superior, speaking very seriously. Young people have their own world. Your old ways are long outdated. With such thinking, how could the Gu family possibly develop? No wonder the Gu family's economic situation has been getting worse and worse over the years. It's all because of people like you. Moreover, are you truly only thinking for her own good? Ding! Detected that the female lead Gu Mengmeng has developed a favorable impression, rewarding 435 emotional points. Ding! Detected that the female lead Gu Mengmeng feels a strong sense of security, rewarding 214 emotional points. Chapter 19, Gu Mengmeng blushed. How could she think like that? Chen Zhu's voice grew colder and colder, right up to his final rhetorical question. Gu Mengmeng's mother couldn't help but shiver. She could always seize the moral high ground, retort, or even throw a tantrum in front of anyone else. But the person she had to face now was Chen Zhuo. In Zhangjiang, who in both the underworld and the legitimate world didn't act according to Chen Zhu's whims. Retort. She simply didn't have the courage. She didn't even dare to entertain such a thought. You're right, we meddled too much. I should reflect. Gu Mengmeng's mother instantly cowered, completely abandoning her usual domineering style. Gu Mengmeng stood behind Chen Zhuo, her big eyes blinking. Was this really the mother she knew? So, convincing her mother was this simple. This man next to her was too overbearing. Ding! Detected a significant increase in Gu Mengmeng's favorability, rewarding 578 emotion points. Chairman Chen, if there's nothing else, I'll take Gu Mengmeng home first. There are still some things to attend to at home. Gu Mengmeng's mother made an excuse. A wise woman knows when to yield. With Chen Zhu here, it was fine for her to pretend to back down. She would deal with Gu Mengmeng after taking her home. In her mind, a big shot like Chen Zhu wouldn't bother much with such a minor matter. Hearing her mother's words, Gu Mengmeng unconsciously gripped the fabric on Chen Zhu's back. Her fingers clenched tightly, deforming his clothes. Chen Zhu could clearly feel her tension. Of course, he couldn't let Gu Mengmeng's mother take Gu Mengmeng away. Putting everything else aside, it would hinder him from gaining emotion points, and that was unacceptable. Is there really something at home? I dislike people who lie to me, and you've already lied to me twice today. Chen Zhu's voice was very cold, as if from an ice cellar. Gu Mengmeng's mother instantly panicked. She wasn't just a housewife, she had her own company. She had heard of Chen Zhu's methods. This man was not as gentle and refined as he appeared. On the contrary, countless competitors had fallen at his hands. Chen Zhuo looked at the panicked woman in front of him and said calmly, "Today is old Master Gu's birthday banquet. Let's put this matter to rest. Gu Mengmeng is moving in with Shihan. You have no objections, right?" No objections. It's good for Mengmeng to learn from Sister Shihan. Gu Mengmeng's mother was drenched in a cold sweat by now. How could she possibly have any objections? Cough, cough, why is it so lively today? I, an old man, am just celebrating my birthday, yet so many esteemed guests have graced us with their presence. Just then, an old but strong voice echoed from the staircase. Old Master Goulet, walked down from the second floor. Old Master, why have you come down now? We have distinguished guests at the Gu family today. Seeing Old Master come down, everyone rushed to greet him. Distinguished guests? Could it be that Grandmaster from back then has arrived? Old Master Gu scoured his memories, finding only one person who could be considered a distinguished guest of the Gu family. As for others, with the current strength of the Gu family, those who could come were not distinguished guests, and those who were distinguished guests would not come. Gu Chengfeng gave an awkward smile. The Grandmaster's disciple had indeed come, but he had been angered and left. He didn't dare to tell Old Master Gu about this yet, only saying, "It's Chen Zhuo, Chairman Chen of Shengtang Group." Hearing Chen Zhuo's name, Old Master Gu quickly looked left and right, searching for Chen Zhuo. Back then, when he was still the Gu family head, Chen Zhuo's Shengtang Group had just started its sand and gravel business. In Zhangjiang, the scale of Chen Zhuo's assets wasn't the largest, but no one dared to provoke him. Later, he watched Shengtang Group enter the real estate market, growing stronger step by step, until it became an existence that the entire Zhangjiang could hardly hope to emulate. Such a person was actually coming to his birthday banquet. Old Master Gu was overwhelmed with flattery. Soon, he saw Chen Zhuo standing next to Gu Shihan and quickly walked over, taking 3 steps at a time. Chairman Chen, I never thought you would come to my birthday banquet. Your presence makes this old man's death worthwhile. Ding detected Gu Shihan's immense pride, rewarding 374 emotion points. Chen Zhuo smiled. According to the original plot, this old Master Gu was not as benevolent as he appeared on the surface. However, this old man's affection for his granddaughter, Gu Shihan, was genuine. Gu Shihan's father was once his designated successor. After Gu Shihan's father died, his love transferred to Gu Shihan. I just came to freeload a meal with Shihan. You don't need to pay too much attention to me, just pretend I'm not here. Chen Zhuo said sincerely. He didn't want to waste time on superficial social interactions with these people. He still had to have a heart-to-heart with Gu Mengmeng. He had already established a tall, protective image in Gu Mengmeng's heart, so the next step was to go further. How can that be? Wouldn't that make my Gu family seem ill-mannered? Also, you and Shihan are. Although old Master Gu already had a conclusion in his heart, he couldn't help but ask. Grandfather, he and I are already married. Before Chen Zhuo could answer, Gu Shihan explained. Already married. Gu Mengmeng, standing nearby, didn't know why, but she suddenly felt an emptiness in her heart. So, Sister Shihan was already married to this uncle. Then Oh, what are you thinking? Unconsciously, Gu Mengmeng's cheeks flushed slightly, but she quickly suppressed it. Ding detected Gu Mengmeng developing feelings for you, rewarding one special lottery draw. Ding detected Gu Mengmeng's slight disappointment, rewarding 215 emotion points. Hearing the system's sudden notification, Chen Zhuo couldn't help but be momentarily stunned. He secretly glanced at Gu Mengmeng next to him. What's going on? Was this woman settled just like that? Is she really that naive? Chen Zhuo was bewildered, but he quickly understood. The system only said that Gu Mengmeng had developed feelings for him. That didn't mean she was completely settled. And the later disappointment was probably because she heard Gu Shihan say she was already married to him, and she was disappointed at the lost opportunity. In that case, things became simpler. His gaze shifted from Gu Mengmeng back to Old Master Gu. Yes, Old Master Gu, Shihan and I are already married, but we haven't held the wedding yet. I guess you could say I'm an old ox eating young grass. Not at all, not at all. How could this be considered an old ox eating young grass? With your physique, Chairman Chen, Mengmeng marrying you wouldn't be young grass at all. Old Master Gu quickly said, even pulling Gu Mengmeng, who had just calmed down, into the conversation. Gu Mengmeng's little face immediately turned red again. Ding detected Gu Mengmeng's immense shame, rewarding 314 emotion points. Chen Zhuo happily accumulated emotion points. Old Master Gu was very satisfied with the union of Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan. Although Gu Mengmeng felt a little regretful, she no longer had to rush to blind dates. The atmosphere at the scene was very harmonious. However, outside the villa, one person was extremely angry. That was Yi Fan, who had just shouted about 30 years of prosperity and 30 years of decline. After leaving the villa, the more he thought about it, the more something felt wrong. If Chen Zhuo's strength reached the heaven rank, then why didn't he attack him just now? At first, he thought Chen Zhuo was kindly letting him go, but now he understood. Chen Zhuo's strength was very likely only Earth rank level 3. He was at the same level as him, which was why he didn't dare to attack him. As for taking a disciple, if a cultivator had extremely poor talent and relied on heaven and earth treasures to increase his strength, then he would have no hope of advancing to the heaven rank. Therefore, such a person would also take disciples. The more Yi Fan thought about it, the more he felt that his guess was correct. To corroborate this, he inquired about more information and learned that Chen Zhuo had been busy with company matters for decades and had no time to cultivate at all. And this, obviously, further confirmed his conjecture. HMPH, daring to scare me like that, you really don't think you've lived long enough. Yi Fan snorted coldly, Gu Shihan's fiery figure appearing in his mind. He almost gave up the heaven-blessed physique that was nearly his. Now, he was going to take back what belonged to him. The thought of Gu Shihan lying in Chen Zhuo's arms made him utterly uncomfortable. Chapter 20. 10 consecutive draws. What the hell is this QQ dress? After Chairman Chen sent Old Master Gu away, he brought Gu Shihan and Gu Mengmeng to the music room. There, Gu Shihan played a rendition of Sunny Day on the piano. A soothing rhythm filled the music room. Gu Shihan had been learning piano since she was 8, participated in many competitions during her student days, and won numerous awards. The notes flowed gracefully from her hands. It was as if she led Chairman Chen into the narrative of the music. With the last note, the music ended. Not bad. I didn't expect you, a famous beauty CEO of Zhangjiang, to play the piano so well. When we go back, I'll get you one. Okay, if you like it, I can play for you every day, Gu Shihan said shyly. She used to be forced to play the piano, so after growing up, she developed a physiological aversion to it. That was also why there was no piano in her house. Now, playing for Chairman Chen, she was very willing, and those musical inspirations surged back into her heart. Ding detected that female lead Gu Shihan is very sweet, rewarding 314 emotional points. Ding detected that female lead Gu Mengmeng feels inferior, rewarding 224 emotional points. Gu Mengmeng, standing nearby, was also stunned by Gu Shihan's piano playing. She had only heard from family when she was little that a distant cousin played the piano very well, but she never imagined Gu Shihan's piano skills had reached such a level. In Gu Mengmeng's heart, a sense of inferiority arose spontaneously. Gu Shihan could run such a large company by herself, played the piano, and was even the captain of the dance team in college. In comparison, she seemed to have nothing to show for herself. Her cousins seemed to be a match made in heaven with Chairman Chen. Those thoughts in her mind were nothing more than unrealistic fantasies. Oh, what are you thinking again? How is that possible? Gu Mengmeng silently repeated this several times in her heart before calming down. Chairman Chen did not speak to Gu Mengmeng directly. Instead, he sat on the nearby sofa and asked Gu Shihan, "By the way, should I buy the piano for your place or my villa?" Gu Shihan thought for a moment and then glanced at Gu Mengmeng. Either is fine, but Mengmeng will be living with me, and your place seems a bit far from Zhangjiang University, you see. Chairman Chen nodded. You're right, then I'll buy it for your place. It's more convenient for the two of you there. If I'm not busy, I'll stay at your place. Gu Shihan's precious place, however, had 5 of her sisters. Chairman Chen had only met one of the 5 sisters, Jiang Xiaomin, and it was not yet time to leave. Meng, I'll take you over after the banquet. There's still an empty room that no one has lived in, Gu Shihan said to Gu Meng. Tilde. Gu Meng's mood was complex at this moment. Hearing their conversation, she somewhat didn't want to go. With Chairman Chen and Gu Shihan as a couple, wouldn't she, being alone next to them, have to watch them display their affection every day? If it were anyone else, it would be fine, but she always felt she had some different thoughts about Chairman Chen. If she kept living there, she would feel stifled. However, she couldn't go home. If she went back, she would be completely finished. After much deliberation, Gu Meng still decided to agree. If it really didn't work out, she still had her dorm to stay in. Okay, Gu Meng nodded solemnly. Then, Gu Shihan and Gu Meng started talking about school matters. Chairman Chen, meanwhile, began to check his system rewards. Opening the system panel, his current emotional point balance was 70-16, enough for 7 regular draws. Besides emotional points, he also had 1 special draw, 1 hidden level draw, and 1 special sweet draw. Adding them up, he had 10 drawing opportunities. Chairman Chen directly chose a 10 draw. Ding! Congratulations on receiving the special draw reward, God-level medical skill. Ding! Congratulations on receiving the hidden level draw reward, memory recall machine. Note: using this machine, you can extract memory fragments from others' minds and create video footage. Note: this function has a cooldown period. For ordinary people, 1 week cooldown. For human tier cultivators, half a month cooldown. For earth tier cultivators, at least 1 month cooldown. Cannot read memories of heaven tier cultivators. Ding! Congratulations on receiving the special sweet draw reward, 1 QQ dress. Ding! Congratulations on receiving the regular draw reward, 1 customized Steinway piano. Ding! Congratulations on receiving the regular draw reward, 1 free attribute point. Ding! Unfortunately, you didn't win anything in this regular draw tilde. Ding! Congratulations on receiving the regular draw reward, divine photography. After 10 system prompts, the system's emotional point balance became 16. In this round of draws, Chairman Chen gained 2 free attribute points, and 3 times he didn't win anything. These regular draws are a bit of a scam. Chairman Chen sighed inwardly, but remembering his past results from draws on various platforms, he felt it wasn't so bad. After all, out of 7 regular draws, only 3 yielded nothing, compared to many draws with 100%. Chapter 21, I'm not short of money, I'm not interested in money. Old Master Gu, as a seasoned veteran of society, immediately seized the moral high ground. And Yi Fan, as the protagonist on the surface, was quite susceptible to this. You mean, let me compete fairly with Chen Zhuo? Old Master Gu nodded. Who Shihan chooses is her own decision. Yi Fan smiled. In his opinion, Chen Zhuo was merely a cultivator who had forcefully reached Earth rank level 3. And he was the sole disciple of the Tiantian sect and the most talented person in the entire cultivation world. What could Chen Zhuo use to compare with him? Even if Gu Shihan was currently deceived by Chen Zhuo's tricks and wholeheartedly followed him. But once he uncovered Chen Zhuo's true background and killed him, Gu Shihan would naturally come to his side. Good, no problem, I will compete fairly with him. But I have one condition: Gu Shihan must be a virgin, otherwise, your entire Gu family will be buried with him. Oh, weren't you the type to say 30 years on the east, 30 years on the west? How did you come back so quickly? Just then, Chen Zhuo's voice rang out. He, Gu Shihan, and Gu Mengmeng had been standing at the end of the corridor for a while. It was just that Chen Zhuo had subtly manipulated his released true qi, preventing Yi Fan from detecting them. Gu Shihan had heard every word of the conversation between Yi Fan and Old Master Gu. Now, her gaze towards Yi Fan was filled with disgust. This person was no different from those who had forced her into an arranged marriage in the past. He even demanded that she remain a virgin, threatening to bury the entire Gu family if she didn't. He was utterly shameless. Yi Fan half-turned to look at the source of the voice. Upon realizing it was Chen Zhuo and Gu Shihan, he instantly panicked. He hurriedly explained to Gu Shihan, "No, I didn't mean that, I meant." Gu Shihan's tone was furious. "What did you mean? You wanted to see if I was still a virgin, you shameless." Ding! Detected that protagonist Yi Fan is extremely anxious, rewarding 257 emotion points. Listening to the system's elegant broadcast, Chen Zhuo was overjoyed. "He's just a lunatic, don't stoop to his level, but you need to be careful in the future. Who knows what such a lunatic might do on the road," Chen Zhuo said, suppressing a laugh, to Gu Shihan beside him. Gu Shihan nodded obediently. Completely different from her attitude towards Yi Fan just now. "I know." Yi Fan watched the two interact, his lungs practically exploding with rage. He swore that if he didn't eliminate Chen Zhuo in this lifetime, he wouldn't be human. Ding! Detected that protagonist Yi Fan is furious, rewarding 647 emotion points. "Chen Zhuo, you just wait, I will tear off your hypocritical mask one day." Yi Fan, full of anger, flicked his sleeve and left again. Chen Zhuo was somewhat stunned. No, is this son of destiny crazy? He came back all this way, just to give him some emotion points. Old Master Gu, seeing Yi Fan leave like that, quickly came to Chen Zhuo's side. He humbly said, "Chairman Chen, Yi Fan's master helped me resolve the Gu family's destiny crisis back then. Now he's here to help me completely resolve it. If he leaves, our Gu family might." Chen Zhuo knew the original plot and knew that the crisis was just a lie concocted by Yi Fan's master to deceive people. However, he couldn't tell Old Master Gu the truth yet. He still wanted to earn more emotion points through this line. Moreover, it didn't fit his character setting. "I don't want to meddle in your Gu family's affairs, but this matter will affect Shihan. Don't worry, I will find the top cultivators to help the Gu family resolve this." As Chen Zhuo spoke, he took Gu Shihan's fair hand. His demeanor was as affectionate as could be. Ding! Detected that female lead Gu Shihan is extremely moved, rewarding 387 emotion points. Old Master Gu felt much relieved when he heard Chen Zhuo say he would find top cultivators to resolve the matter. One must know that cultivators were extremely rare in this world. Ordinary people didn't even know of the existence of cultivators. And for a family like the Gu family, even a human-rank cultivator could become their honored guest. Time passed quickly. As the sun set, Old Master Gu's 90th birthday banquet officially began. "Old Master, this is the birthday gift I prepared for you. It's 100 longevity painting that I embroidered myself. It's not expensive, but it represents my sincerity. I wish you a long life. This is the Huang Huali Wood longevity peach ornament I prepared. I also wish you endless blessings and longevity. Old Master, our branch completed several projects last year and earned some money. This is a Fu character we made from pure gold. We hope you like it." The various branches of the Gu family all presented their prepared gifts. As Gu Shihan's parents had passed away, she needed to prepare her own gift. "Oh no, I was so busy buying clothes for you this morning that I forgot to buy a birthday gift." Gu Shihan only just remembered that she hadn't prepared a birthday gift at all. "What should I do? It's too late to buy one now." Just then, Chen Zhuo pulled out a dark black jade pendant from his pocket. This was the Yun Jin jade pendant that the system had rewarded him earlier, which Chen Zhuo found too ugly. This item was useless to Chen Zhuo. As an accessory, it was too ugly. As for its cooling and calming effects, cultivators felt nothing. It also took up space in the system's inventory. Chen Zhuo handed the jade pendant to Gu Shihan. You can use this as your birthday gift. Gu Shihan looked at the ancient jade pendant Chen Zhuo gave her, pleasantly surprised. Ding! Detected that female lead Gu Shihan is very moved, rewarding 347 emotion points. This is very valuable, isn't it? Gu Shihan's eyes were practically sparkling as she looked at Chen Zhuo. From the apartment to here, Chen Zhuo had been by her side the entire time, with no opportunity to prepare a gift. This meant that this jade pendant was something Chen Zhuo usually wore himself. Anything Chen Zhuo wore would not be of low value. How much is it? I'll pay you back when I get home. Gu Shihan thought for a moment and said. Her personality, like Gu Mengmeng's, was very independent. Even though she and Chen Zhuo had already registered their marriage, in her view, their assets were separate. How much? This question truly stumped Chen Zhuo. It was a system reward. How would he know its price? However, looking at the system's description, it was Tiantian Extreme Jade, had cooling and calming effects, and was engraved with a bunch of characters he couldn't understand. This jade pendant was definitely not cheap. In fact, it probably wasn't even sold in this world. Do you feel a cool sensation from this jade pendant, and does your mood become calm? It really does seem to be the case. Is this jade pendant that magical? Chen Zhuo seriously began to concoct a story. The material of this jade pendant is Tiantian Extreme Jade, which is extremely rare. Coupled with the characters on it, which were crafted by an expert, it has the effect of cooling and calming the mind. I also obtained this jade pendant from someone else by chance. As for its specific price, it's probably priceless. But for you, the price doesn't matter. I'm not short on money. When Chen Zhuo mentioned the value of the jade pendant, Gu Shihan almost stuffed it back into his hand. With its origin, even if she sold herself, she couldn't afford to pay it back. No, this won't do, I can't accept it. Gu Shihan quickly refused. You don't want it? Then what will you use as a birthday gift? Just keep it. If you can't pay it back, you can do so slowly. Then all right. Gu Shihan hesitated for a moment, but still agreed. At the same time, she was also very touched that Chen Zhuo would give her such a precious item. She decided she had to find a way to repay Chen Zhuo properly. Chapter 22, A New Experience in Life, Becoming a Father to the Heroine. Old Master Gu was surrounded by people, all comparing their birthday gifts. They were competing to see whose gift showed more sincerity. Such a scene was a waste of time for Chen Zhuo, so he told Gu Shihan that he wouldn't be going over. Gu Shihan had no objections. She didn't like such scenes either. Moreover, the Gu family didn't have the face to make Chen Zhuo personally deliver a gift. Watching Gu Shihan's retreating figure, Chen Zhuo scanned the hall. He was looking for someone, Gu Mengmeng. Not wanting to waste time on gift-giving was one reason, but more importantly, Chen Zhuo wanted to find an opportunity to talk with Gu Mengmeng. He wanted Gu Mengmeng to open up to him, at least not to have a wall separating them like this. Soon, Chen Zhuo found Gu Mengmeng's figure in a corner of the dining area. While everyone was celebrating the birthday, this little girl was secretly eating in the corner. She was eating one small cake after another, completely engrossed. Chen Zhuo walked up to her, but she didn't even notice him. Chen Zhuo glanced at her system information. Name, Gu Mengmeng. Identity, female lead of campus, divine doctor, third-year student at Zhangjiang University, president of the anime club. Looks, 99 points. Figure, 97 points. Affection, 70. Note, this affection value is relatively high. Note, affection value can be negative. Hello, I'm Chen Zhuo. I heard you like cosplay. The sudden voice beside her startled Gu Mengmeng, and when she saw who it was, her mood shifted from shock to nervousness. Yes. Gu Mengmeng nodded, a little flustered. Chen Zhuo casually took an exquisite small cake from nearby and put it in his mouth. As a cultivator, while he could go a long time without eating, it didn't mean he could go a long time without feeling hungry. After eating the cake, Chen Zhuo asked again. I'm quite interested in these cultures of you young people. They're very vibrant. I wonder if you have time to show me around. Gu Mengmeng was completely bewildered. Before this, she had even decided that she and Chen Zhuo were from two different worlds. She had forced herself to clear her mind of unrealistic fantasies. And now, the man who gave her a sense of security actually said he was interested in cosplay and wanted her to show him around. I know it's not. Gu Mengmeng suddenly stammered. Chen Zhuo looked at Gu Mengmeng's nervous, stammering appearance coupled with her youthful university student aura. She was very cute. Not what, you don't welcome me. No, I welcome you. I just feel that your status is too high, and it doesn't quite match my humble hobby, Gu Mengmeng said, sorting out her thoughts. Haha, my status, that's what others see. Even a big shot needs his own private hobbies, right? Many things need to be tried. Chen Zhuo said earnestly. The elegant demeanor of a mature man radiated from him. Gu Mengmeng blinked. She stared blankly at Chen Zhuo. This man seemed different from what she had imagined. Then okay. When there's an opportunity, I'll take you to see our anime club at Zhangjiang University. When there's an opportunity is usually a polite way of refusing in general conversation. Chen Zhuo didn't know if Gu Mengmeng, this innocent university student, meant it that way. But he didn't want to drag it out too long. He took out his phone, pretending to glance at it. How about tomorrow? I happen to have time tomorrow. Gu Mengmeng was stunned. Tomorrow? She wasn't even ready yet. Most importantly, she had a big event tomorrow. Because she had missed too many classes, including many specialized courses, her counselor, after seeing that Gu Mengmeng was a local of Zhangjiang, asked her to bring her parents. What? No. This event was not recorded in the original plot, so Chen Zhuo didn't know about it. Yes, I have something tomorrow. Looking at Gu Mengmeng's simple expression, Chen Zhuo knew that when she said she had something, she really did. Could it be related to the protagonist in the book campus, Divine Doctor? Chen Zhuo didn't want to miss such a great opportunity. He continued to press. What is it? Let's see if I can help you solve it. Gu Mengmeng hesitated for a moment, then still told him about it. Being asked by the counselor to bring parents, this was a very difficult achievement to reach in university. It seemed Gu Mengmeng hadn't put any effort into her studies. Her love for cosplay had reached its peak. Chen Zhuo thought for a moment and asked curiously, You're on such bad terms with your mom, can she go to the school? A troubled expression appeared on Gu Mengmeng's face. This was exactly what she was worried about now. If she went to her parents because of this, it would be like a lamb entering a tiger's den. I don't know either. I can only wait until tomorrow to see. Chen Zhuo looked at Gu Mengmeng's tightly furrowed brows and confused eyes. He knew his opportunity had come. He smiled and said, I do have a way to solve your problem. Gu Mengmeng was surprised. She hadn't expected Chen Zhuo to say that, and then she became curious. What way? It's simple. I'll pretend to be your father and help you deal with the counselor. In return, you can introduce me to cosplay. Hearing Chen Zhuo's method, Gu Mengmeng's eyes lit up. That's right. That really is a good idea. Wait, no, that's not right. You're so famous in Zhangjiang, wouldn't they recognize you immediately? Gu Mengmeng said earnestly. Chen Zhuo sighed inwardly. This university student was truly both clever and foolish. He was a major shareholder of Zhangjiang University. Being recognized was a certainty. But with his status, wouldn't Gu Mengmeng's matter be a simple word? Chen Zhuo thought about it, but didn't voice his conjecture. Instead, he bluffed. You can't think that way. From others' perspective, if I were really Chen Zhuo, Why would I be called in by the counselor as a parent? Gu Mingmeng's eyes brightened. She felt Chen Zhuo made a lot of sense. Given Chen Zhuo's status, he wouldn't appear in Zhangjiang University in such a capacity at all. If others saw him, they would only think he looked somewhat similar. It seems so, but do you really have time to help me like this? After Chen Zhuo's conversation just now, Gu Mingmeng had unconsciously forgotten the initial status gap and awkwardness. Her tone had even become like that of talking to someone her age. Chen Zhuo regained his aloofness and said indifferently, "Do I look like I have time? It's just that the group is preparing to develop a new cultural and entertainment project, and I want to understand the market. Since you need help, I'll just lend a hand." At this point, Chen Zhuo paused, then continued. "Of course, if you feel this isn't appropriate, then I won't go." "Don't." Gu Mengmeng became anxious. She had finally found a lifeline, and she had to seize it. "Go, go, go. You must help me with this. Not only will I introduce you to the cosplay market then, but I'll also treat you to a meal." Chapter 23, No, You Treat the Trash I Don't Want as Treasure. Ding detected that the female lead Gu Mengmeng is anxious, rewarding one special lottery draw. Gu Mengmeng's anxious look was very cute. It was completely different from when they argued in the study earlier. Chen Zhuo ate another dessert and said calmly, "All right, I'll be your dad for one day. Tonight, you'll stay with Sister Shihan, and tomorrow, I'll go to Zhangjiang University with you." Gu Mengmeng nodded obediently, indicating her agreement. At the same time, on Old Master Gu's side, it was Gu Shihan's turn to present her birthday gift. Big families operate on interests. Many of the Gu family's businesses were propped up by Old Master Gu's personal connections. In other words, these projects were still effectively under Old Master Gu's control. The Old Master held the cake, merely entrusting the right to distribute it temporarily to the current patriarch, Gu Chengfeng. And he could reclaim this right at any time. This led everyone to curry favor with Old Master Gu on the surface. Therefore, every year on Old Master Gu's birthday, the various branches of the Gu family would compete to see whose gift was better. Gu Shihan looked at the black jade pendant in her hand, her mood somewhat complex. In previous years, no matter what she gave, she was always the one everyone criticized. Everyone knew very well that Gu Shihan's ability was the strongest among the younger generation of the Gu family. The Old Master had even considered entrusting the Gu family's most important business to Gu Shihan. Therefore, everyone wanted to lower Gu Shihan's standing in the Old Master's heart to reduce obstacles for their own children. Only this year, everything was different. Gu Shihan had allied herself with the legendary Chen Zhuo. Forget the best projects of the Gu family, what was the entire Gu family in front of her? On the contrary, now everyone in the Gu family had to cater to her mood. "Shihan, quickly show us what gift you've prepared for grandfather." Several middle-aged women, who used to be sharp-tongued, were exceptionally polite to Gu Shihan today. They echoed, "Shihan is Chairman Chen's woman now. How could the gift she gives the Old Master be bad? I bet it's something none of us can afford." Exactly. With Chairman Chen's generosity, the gifts we've given are just roadside trinkets. Gu Shihan ignored the fawning crowd. She walked up to Old Master Gu and said, "Grandfather, my company has been too busy these past few days. I couldn't manage it all, and I completely forgot to prepare a gift." As soon as she finished speaking, the first to respond was not Old Master Gu, but the surrounding Gu family members. They, who had just been saying that Gu Shihan's gift would surely outshine everyone else's, immediately did a 180-degree turn. It's understandable that Shihan is so busy that she forgot to prepare a gift for the Old Master. Shihan's company was busy before, and now she also has to serve Chairman Chen, so she must be even busier. It's normal to forget. Shihan is devoted to her career, and the Old Master can understand that. This is for the Gu family, after all. No, bringing Chairman Chen here. That is Shihan's best birthday gift. It must be said that the Gu family's sycophancy and ability to adapt to circumstances were truly first-rate. Even Gu Shihan couldn't help but crack a smile. She felt truly exhilarated. The humiliation she had endured for the past 2 decades was completely overturned at this moment. To be the center of attention, this was what it felt like. And all of this was because of one man. A man who was both domineering and considerate. A man who had forcefully registered their marriage with her. Ding detected that the female lead Gu Shihan's favorability towards you has once again exceeded the limit, rewarding one special sweet lottery draw. Rewarding 5,000 emotion points. Chen Zhuo, who was currently chatting with Gu Mengmeng about campus anecdotes, was startled by the system's prompt. Wait, can I make the favorability exceed the limit, even when I'm out finding new girls? Old Master Gu didn't mind hearing that Gu Shihan didn't have time to prepare a gift, just as those around him had said. Chen Zhuo's arrival today was the greatest gift. As long as Gu Shihan could stay with Chen Zhuo, no amount of gold and silver mountains could compare. He laughed heartily and said kindly, "It's all right, your intentions are enough. Thank you, grandfather, for your understanding. However, although I didn't prepare a birthday gift, Chen Zhuo prepared a gift after he found out." Gu Shihan said, as she took out the black jade pendant from her pocket. Although this jade pendant was given to her by Chen Zhuo as a birthday gift, it ultimately belonged to Chen Zhuo. She did not take credit for the jade pendant herself. Old Master Gu looked at the jade pendant in Gu Shihan's hand, listened to Gu Shihan's explanation, and was so excited he almost didn't sit still and fell to the ground. The legendary Chairman Chen Zhuo, actually sent him a jade pendant. Good, good, good. Old Master Gu was so excited he said, "Good," 3 times in a row, unable to utter a complete sentence. Although the surrounding Gu family members weren't as excited as Old Master Gu, huge waves were stirring in their hearts. Before this, Chen Zhuo was still suspected of merely toying with Gu Shihan, but with this jade pendant given out, that suspicion was greatly reduced. It seemed that Gu Shihan was truly going to become Chen Zhuo's official wife. At the same time, they began to scrutinize the jade pendant in Gu Shihan's hand very carefully. It was dark and dull, not particularly attractive. There were no carvings on it, only some incomprehensible runes. Honestly, if this item were placed in a display case, they wouldn't even glance at it. However, as soon as they thought that this jade pendant was given by Chen Zhuo, it instantly became precious in their hearts. This jade pendant doesn't look like an ordinary item. I've never seen this material before. Could it be a meteorite from outer space? And those runes on it, Chairman Chen must have invited an expert to engrave them. Such a jade pendant is not available on the market. It must be extremely rare. The people around showered it with praise, and Old Master Gu also happily extended his hand to take the jade pendant. The moment the jade pendant touched his hand, a refreshing coolness permeated his heart. Old Master Gu's eyes widened, feeling the magic in his hand. This, what kind of jade pendant is this? I feel like it's connected to my soul. He then remembered that Chen Zhuo wasn't here and quickly asked, "Shihan where? Chairman Chen, why isn't he here?" Gu Shihan replied, "He said he doesn't like such occasions, so he didn't come." Old Master Gu, hearing that Chen Zhuo disliked it, dared not utter another word. He suppressed all the curiosity in his heart. He would have to wait for an opportunity to ask properly. Just then, Gu Shihan's second uncle, who was nearby, suddenly shouted while holding his phone. "This is a jade pendant made from the priceless Tiantian Extreme Jade. 50 years ago, a piece of Tiantian Extreme Jade the size of a fingernail sold for the price of 100 kilograms of gold. Such a large piece of Tiantian Extreme Jade, plus these mysterious runes, its value is unimaginable. 50 years ago, 100 kilograms of gold. Then this jade pendant must be. Ding detected that the female lead Gu Shihan is in a good mood, rewarding 614 emotion points. Chapter 24, Gu Mengmeng's mother's bold idea. This gift is too precious. I can't accept it. You should quickly return it to Chairman Chen, old Master Gu said hastily. If it had been something worth a few 100,000, old Master Gu would have been grinning from ear to ear. But the value of this jade pendant was probably already over 100 million. If he wore this thing, he was afraid he wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Gu Shihan was also a bit stunned when she heard this. She only knew that Chen Zhuo said this jade pendant was very precious, but she hadn't expected the specific price to be so high. In high society, everyone more or less has enough money, so they don't have a concept of the word tycoon. At this moment, they finally understood what a high society tycoon looked like. All right, I'll return it to him. I'll get you another birthday gift in a few days. Gu Shihan took the jade pendant old Master Gu handed back to her, not declining it. She wouldn't dare to make decisions about something so valuable. It's fine, it's fine. I'm very satisfied with the sentiment. The important thing is when you and Chairman Chen will hold your wedding. Old Master Gu said from the bottom of his heart. From the Gu family's perspective, as long as the news of Gu Shihan and Chen Zhuo's wedding spread to other families, the Gu family would instantly become the head of the 4 great families of Zhangjiang. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribers, and share to infinite novel audiobooks. Oh, by the way, where is Chairman Chen? Quickly return the jade pendant, don't break it. Only when old Master Gu mentioned this did everyone realize that Chen Zhuo hadn't appeared. The crowd scanned the hall and found Chen Zhuo chatting and laughing with Gu Mengmeng in a corner. Gu Shihan took the jade pendant and walked over. Meanwhile, amidst the crowd, a glimmer of light flashed in a woman's eyes. She was none other than Gu Mengmeng's mother. The position Gu Shihan now held in the Gu family made her incredibly envious, and thinking of her disobedient daughter, she felt a surge of anxiety. Now, seeing her daughter chatting and laughing with Chen Zhuo, looking very harmonious, an idea popped into her head. Why not let Gu Mengmeng also pursue Chen Zhuo? In the high society of their world, having multiple wives and concubines was not uncommon. The higher a person's status, the more women he had, which also aligned with the understanding of many people in this world. For a super-rich person like Chen Zhuo, even building an entire residential complex for his women wouldn't be excessive. If Gu Mengmeng became Chen Zhuo's woman, just like Gu Shihan, then as Gu Mengmeng's mother, she would also gain a crucial position in the Gu family. Yes, that's exactly what should happen. On the other side, Gu Shihan walked up to Chen Zhuo with the jade pendant and explained its value. This jade pendant is too precious. My grandfather can't accept it, so you should take it back. I'll get him another gift in a few days. In Chen Zhuo's eyes, this thing was just useless trash. But when he heard Gu Shihan say that this trash was worth at least 100 million, he naturally took the jade pendant back. Wouldn't it be better to sell this jade pendant and use the money to flirt with girls? Mistake, he almost lost a fortune. All right then, I'll sell this jade pendant in a few days and buy something else to give to old Master Gu. Tilde. Gu Shihan nodded obediently. And Gu Mengmeng, standing nearby, was completely numb when she heard that the gift Chen Zhuo casually gave was worth over 100 million. Such a big shot had just been eating cake with her and discussing interesting things from school. And he was even going to pretend to be her father at school tomorrow. Was this really real? She vaguely felt a sense of unreality. Ding detected female lead Gu Mengmeng's complex emotions, rewarding 314 emotion points. Following the schedule, the banquet proceeded smoothly. Everyone was toasting, while Chen Zhuo sat there calmly eating his meal. All the Gu family members who wanted to make an acquaintance were driven away by Gu Shihan. As for Gu Mengmeng, she was originally wandering around, eating barbecue. Just as she was enjoying herself, a hand landed on her arm. With a pull, she was tugged aside. Gu Mengmeng was startled. When she saw who pulled her, her mood instantly plummeted. "I told you, I don't need you to meddle. Why are you looking for me again?" she said angrily. The person who pulled her was none other than her mother. Gu Mengmeng's mother wasn't angry at all by Gu Mengmeng's questioning. Instead, she said with a face full of apology, "Mengmeng, Mama has thought it through. I shouldn't force you into an arranged marriage. You have your own freedom." Huh! Her mother's attitude left Gu Mengmeng a bit bewildered. Was this really her biological mother? She wasn't dreaming, was she? Gu Mengmeng's mother continued. "Chairman Chen's lecture just now was very right. I've thought about it, and from now on, I won't interfere with your life." Gu Mengmeng couldn't figure out what her mother was up to, but she felt that something wasn't quite right. However, since her mother said so, it was a good thing. "I understand," Gu Mengmeng said expressionlessly. "Mama knows I made mistakes before, and you won't forgive Mama right away, but you have to understand that I used to do it for your own good. You'll always be Mama's child, won't you?" Seeing Gu Mengmeng's expression, Gu Mengmeng's mother played the emotional card. Gu Mengmeng was just a naive university student. How could she withstand such an offensive? Her expression softened a little. "I know, you said you won't interfere with me anymore." "Absolutely, I won't interfere with you. Even if I do, I'll discuss it with you." Gu Mengmeng's mother instantly transformed into the most respectful mother to her child. Seeing Gu Mengmeng lower her guard slightly, she asked, pretending not to care too much, "Oh, by the way, what were you and Chairman Chen just chatting about?" "Why do you care about that?" Gu Mengmeng's mother didn't answer directly. "Mama has been through this before. You like Chairman Chen, don't you?" This rhetorical question struck deep into Gu Mengmeng's heart. In that instant, all family conflicts were cast aside by Gu Mengmeng, and she blushed. Indeed, one cannot deceive one's own heart. She truly did like Chen Zhuo. Gu Mengmeng's mother saw Gu Mengmeng blush instantly and was mostly certain in her heart. It seemed her daughter really liked Chen Zhuo, and Chen Zhuo didn't reject her daughter either. Things looked promising for the future. "Mom, don't interfere with my business." Gu Shihan, having collected herself, was a bit flustered and exasperated. "I'm not interfering. I'm just speaking to you as someone who's been through it. If you like Chairman Chen, then go boldly pursue him. I support you." Gu Shihan's mother pressed her advantage and stated her intention. Gu Shihan was stunned. She thought her mother would come to stop her, but instead, she was telling her to go ahead and pursue him. What did this mean? Gu Shihan's mother continued. "The most important thing in life is to have no regrets. Mama had many regrets back then, and Mama doesn't want you to repeat the same mistakes." But he and Sister Shihan. "What are you afraid of? Didn't you say you young people are brave enough to break conventions? Besides, what's wrong with pursuing your own love? And Chairman Chen's excellence is definitely not something one woman alone can match. You and Gu Shihan, it won't be an issue." Chapter 25, I am the protagonist, not an ATM. Gu Mengmeng's mother's statement completely stunned Gu Mengmeng. Could this matter be viewed in such a way? But soon, she felt a sudden enlightenment. Yes, she should be brave and be herself, just like before. But Sister Shihan would mind, right? Gu Mengmeng wasn't someone who would abandon everyone for her own benefit. On the contrary, she cared deeply about the feelings of those around her. She could accept loving a man alongside Gu Shihan, but could Gu Shihan accept it? If Shihan couldn't accept it, wouldn't she become a mistress? Various thoughts churned in her mind, and Gu Mengmeng was at a loss for how to choose. To give up, she was unwilling. How about I find an opportunity to ask Sister Shihan? Thinking of this, Gu Mengmeng's cheeks flushed even redder. What was she even thinking? Never mind, I'm going to eat. Gu Mengmeng's mother watched Gu Mengmeng hastily run away and smiled with satisfaction. The probability of success was already 80%, The remaining 20% depended on Chen Zhuo's thoughts. She decided to probe Gu Mengmeng's tone again tonight when she returned home, to see what Chen Zhuo had actually discussed with her. The banquet ended quickly. As night deepened, this villa was where Old Master Gu lived, not where everyone in the Gu family resided. Everyone returned to their respective homes. Old Master Gu wanted Gu Shihan and Chen Zhuo to stay overnight, but Chen Zhuo refused. Chen Zhuo's refusal was met with Old Master Gu not even daring to politely insist, only seeing them off. Chen Zhuo drove the car over from the underground garage, and Gu Shihan took Gu Mengmeng into the car. And not far away, a person dressed in black was observing the situation at the villa's entrance. It was none other than Yi Fan, the son of Luck, who had come several times before. After Yi Fan left the villa in a fit of rage, he systematically analyzed the matter. With his intelligent mind as the son of Luck, he quickly came up with new ideas. Now he faced two problems. One was Chen Zhuo's true strength. The other was that Gu Shihan had already developed a strong dislike for him, while her good impression of that fellow Chen Zhuo had increased exponentially. He didn't believe that someone like Chen Zhuo was truly a gentleman, so he had to find evidence to show Gu Shihan. He would let Gu Shihan know that this person had a human face but a beastly heart. Both of these problems required him to investigate. Therefore, he decided to follow Chen Zhuo to find out his background. To follow Chen Zhuo, he specifically changed into inconspicuous clothes. He also used the breath concealment talisman he brought from the mountain. This talisman could greatly weaken the true qi inadvertently released by a cultivator, making it undetectable by other cultivators unless they deliberately searched. HMPH, I will definitely ruin your reputation and then physically crush you. It was already 10:30, and Zhangjiang City, as a city that never sleeps, was just beginning its nightlife. The streets were still bustling. Chen Zhuo drove slowly on the road, his eyes constantly on the rearview mirror. 100 meters behind, a person in black was rapidly approaching. His speed was just right, enough to keep up with the car, but not so fast as to be noticed by others. A smile appeared at the corner of Chen Zhuo's mouth. This protagonist was truly persistent. He thought that by concealing his aura, he wouldn't be discovered. Late at night, dressed in all black, wearing black sunglasses, and following all the way from the villa area, even an idiot could tell there was something wrong. After a quick check, sure enough, this kid was the protagonist Yi Fan. However, Chen Zhuo didn't stop the car to expose him. Letting him follow was fine. It was a good way to earn emotional value. After the traffic light, Chen Zhuo turned right, then right again, and directly entered the elevated ramp. We're almost there. Why are you taking the elevated road? Gu Shihan asked curiously. I'm full, just getting some air. It feels good. Chen Zhuo casually made an excuse. Then he stepped on the accelerator and got onto the elevated road. Yi Fan, who was following behind, had just come down from the mountain. How would he know what an elevated road was? He only saw fewer and fewer people on the road, and Chen Zhuo's car speed getting faster and faster. Why did he suddenly accelerate? Yi Fan activated his true qi and accelerated to catch up. With Earth rank level 3 strength, maintaining a speed of 60 kilometers per hour was not a problem. At top speed, he could even reach 200 kilometers per hour, but it wasn't sustainable. Otherwise, he wouldn't have tracked Chen Zhuo on foot. At this time, there weren't many cars on the elevated road, and Chen Zhuo's foot was welded to the accelerator, as long as he didn't exceed the speed limit. He drove as fast as he could. Yi Fan chased behind, starting with a leisurely pace, then exerting a little effort and finally going all out. By the end, he no longer cared about whether his true qi was exposed or not, directly mobilizing the true qi within his body at full capacity. He almost bit his teeth to pieces, just to keep up with Chen Zhuo's taillights. Ding! Detected that protagonist Yi Fan is somewhat angry, rewarding 147 emotional points. Ding! Detected that protagonist Yi Fan's anger value is soaring, rewarding 248 emotional points. Ding! Detected that protagonist Yi Fan is extremely angry, rewarding 367 emotional points. Ding! Detected that protagonist Yi Fan is furious, rewarding 517 emotional points. Chen Zhuo looked at the persistent Yi Fan in the rearview mirror and felt a bit of admiration. This protagonist was not just an ordinary idiot, he was a persistently foolish. Although it was a straight distance of 2 kilometers, Chen Zhuo drove directly around the second ring road in a circle. Really, there's actually a person running wildly on the elevated road, running faster than my car. That night, the elevated road traffic phone lines were jammed. By the time they got off the elevated road and arrived downstairs,